Welcome to Greenville, North Carolina, the hottest ticket in town in college baseball. This game's been sold out since Monday. Anytime you feature two top 15 foes, number 15 Carolina, number 11 East Carolina. The series is on the line today, and the jungle is going crazy. Welcome to Clark LeClaire Stadium with Mike Mullis. I'm EvanBudrovich. Teams split the first two games of the series. Huge regional implications here in Game 3. What's the deciding factor in this series finale?
You know what, it's championship sports, and it always comes down to defense, right? So I expect pitching and defense to tell the tale today. It's been a story for both teams all year. We'll see how it bears out, but I have all ideas. The team that plays it cleanest will win this game.
Here's why this game really matters. We're only 2 weeks into the season. From a national perspective, what Wake Forest has been able to do is set the tone from a pitching standpoint. We do want to note, though, with the regional format, top 16 host, which means in this matchup, Mike, you see teams loaded up in the Carolinas. How important is this Game 3 for ECU and Carolina's regional standpoint?
You know, it really is everything. For it to be this early in the season, this is a huge turning point, if you will, or an opportunity to have a turning point as it relates to future RPI, future opportunities. Like you alluded to, top 16 is a huge deal. Both teams know that, and they're going to go at it with all that heart today and the effort to win that spot.
This series has been epic in the first two games. Very tight. Carolina with a game-winning home run Friday, and then Saturday the bats changed for East Carolina.
Yeah, you know what, we saw them really good early. We saw the pitching dominant by Root on the mound with his start. Late in the game, we saw some issues in the bullpen, Evan. I wonder how much that will come into play. We've seen both the kind of key guys for the East Carolina bullpen in both games. We'll see how it plays out today.
96th all-time meeting, East Carolina, North Carolina. We got a big series finale here in Greenville. When we come back, we'll get you all set for first pitch. Welcome back to Clark LeClaire Stadium. Fantastic atmosphere here for Game 3. This is the series finale on the line, and East Carolina roll out junior righty Jake Hunter, 18th career start. He was excellent against Ryder last weekend, but now, Mike, different level of competition. What should the Pirates expect from Jake?
You know what, a strike thrower, obviously 0.0 ERA is a great way to start the year. Again, the key with him, the 6 strikeouts to the 3 walks is a little concerning early. Like to see that ratio a little bit better on the strikeout side. 4 picks Mitch, gonna be around low to mid 90s, and again, most effective when he's in the zone.
Facing a Carolina order that hit the baseball all over the place in the first 4 games. 46 runs to start this season. That's the challenge for Jake Hunter. This Pirate pitching staff's been really good in the first 2 games. And taking on a UNC lineup, very similar to the weekend, but keep an eye on Vance Honeycutt. He's 3 for 8 this weekend. And this line is brought to you by Grady White Boats. What makes the Carolina lineup dangerous today, Mike?
Man, you hit the nail on the head. Vance Honeycutt's the guy that makes it go, one of the top players in the country, and the scouts in attendance are proof of that today. I think another player to look for is Osuna. As we kind of talked to a little bit pre-show, 20 home runs his freshman year, had some injuries last year with hamate surgery, and he's back full-time and has been everything that they needed to be.
Series on the line, game 3 underway. And Alex Madera works ahead in the count. He's hit leadoff all year for UNC in Scott Forbes' lineup. The grad student, 5-game hit streak entering today. And goes right after the second pitch of the game. This will send Nowak into the corner, and a nice catch to get things started.
You know, and you have to wonder how much with these guys. I mean, they've played in front of electric atmospheres all weekend, but obviously this one is special. It's a rubber match. It's 2 teams that it means a lot to. We'll see how much nerve plays into the early part of this game.
This place is ready to explode.
I mean, it's incredible.
2 programs that have been the 2 most successful in the state the last 10 years, both regionally and in the postseason. They battle here in game 3. And here's the player to watch coming in, Vance Honeycutt. His huge swing Friday night was the difference in game 1.
You know what? He's improved his batting average 100 points over the weekend, 4 home runs on the weekend. So definitely the guy that if you circle a guy in the lineup, say you can't let this guy beat you. It's definitely got to be Mr. Honeycutt.
Honeycutt in his draft-eligible junior year is a top 10 draft prospect, according to multiple publications. Hunter challenges with a fastball there, and he's quickly ahead.
You know, and that's part of the philosophy of this Pirate staff and the Pirate program at large is, kind of fear nobody and go, we're willing to play whoever wants to play is what you hear Coach Godwin say all the time. So chance to prove that here. We'll see with kind of a head to count what he has in store.
Goes back to the cheddar, and the first punch out for Jake Hunter.
You think these fans don't know how big that is?
95 plus from Hunter, who can really bring some velo. This East Carolina pitching staff comes in top 10 in the country, 1.9 ERA entering today.
The starting pitching has definitely been the story for the Pirates, and obviously a little bit of an offensive explosion yesterday with 15-plus knocks, but the starting pitching has been really, really good. The question, if there is one, is what the back end looks like, and I'm sure today we'll see that. These guys aren't ready to go super deep into games. They got a really nice outing from Zach Root yesterday. 7 innings. Yeah, which allows some bullets to be saved down in the pen. But again, I think the bullpens are going to be the story.
Casey Cook works ahead in the count. What a breakout year as a redshirt freshman last year. All ACC freshman team. And he reached base 44 straight times. That was a Carolina freshman record. You think of a program with over 100 draft players. This is quite a freshman season.
No, I mean, it's incredible. 44 straight times of success, and this game is obviously unheard of. But it's Carolina, and Scott Forbes and his staff do as good a job as anybody in the country of recruiting and bringing in players and impact guys at up and down the lineup.
This pop-up might stay in play as Williams runs out of room.
But they, again, it's the old, the old cliche. They don't really rebuild, they reload, and that's, I mean, you see that every year, really, with both these clubs. But yeah, Scott does an amazing job filling this roster.
Jake Hunter on 3-2. This is up, and a leadoff runner on. 2 outs here for Casey Cook. There's Scott Forbes, who's done an excellent job early in his tenure replacing Coach Mike Fox. Made it to a regional final last year. And a team now with some preseason expectations, not only in the ACC, but nationally here at number 15.
Both these teams are here to go deep, right? They're not looking to win their conference. They're not looking to just, have a good season. They're looking to find a way to Omaha. And I'll tell you, a big key for that is a young man that's at the plate for the Tar Heels, the Georgia transfer who led the SEC in RBI last year in Parks Harbor. So a guy that's not quite figured it out just yet relative to the numbers he put up last year, but a guy that they surely expect big things from and has the ability to make this a 2-run game in a hurry.
Some attention over to the Carolina running game that's been extremely efficient, 14 of 15 among the top 5 teams in the country and running the bases through 2 weeks. Here's the Georgia transfer, Parks Harbor. And he's taking a big hack. You mentioned Harbor's numbers last year, but he's been off to a nice start this year as well. 350 average, already 8 hits in the first 6 games.
You know what's funny? I was going to mention that too. He's not quite where he was or what they hope that he will be for the lineup, but he is off to a nice start. The RBI numbers where they're looking for it.
That ball is ripped up the middle, and a 2-out knock for Harbor. So all of a sudden, Carolina's stringing together a couple of 2-out plays.
That's just a good job of not trying to do too much of that pitch, kind of taking what you're being given and inside yourself with your swing and stay in the middle of the ballpark. It's every coach's message, right? Stay in the middle of the park and react. And you see him, again, takes that little cutter and just drives the ball right back through the box.
What a moment for Quinnipiac grad transfer Anthony D'Onofrio in this spot. Preseason second-team All-American. Those are huge accolades coming in. Among the top 30 outfielders in the country. And he's been off to a good start defensively, looking to get the bat going at 222. Hunter challenges him right there for strike 1.
Quality pitch there to get back in the count. And D'Onofrio hasn't seen this many fans in an entirety of a career at Quinnipiac if you add up what he's kind of played in front of this weekend. So I'm sure it's a little bit fast for him, and their expectation will be that he will settle in.
This ball is rocketed to center. Johnson with some room and up against the track. That's a loud 3rd out. It's Carolina stranding too early. East Carolina gets their first swings when we come back. Welcome back to Greenville. Here's Cliff Godwin's lineup, brought to you by Grady White Boats. What an explosive weekend for Carter Cunningham. 6 hits. Jacob Jenkins-Coward had some big power. And really that top 4 has made a difference in these first 2 games.
Yeah, no, the weekend, that especially game yesterday that Cunningham and Starling put together, 8-9 hits between them. That's senior leadership. That's guys that have made the commitment to be part of a big thing, and they're backing their action backing their words with their action.
It's a lineup hitting .320 coming in and facing a very young arm. True freshman Olin Johnson, only his 2nd career start. Johnson, who reclassified, is now a true freshman out of Bellingham, Washington, and did not go very deep against Wagner, 2 2/3, but elite level stuff.
Yeah, no question. Mid to upper 90s fastball. What's been described, and probably the ultimate compliment that can be paid to a breaking pitch, is that he has an absolute banger breaking ball. Played it, transferred to McCallie School in Tennessee, playing for former big leaguer Tim Costco there. A lot of success, state titles, player of the year. So, yet another quality recruit by the Tar Heel staff.
This is a young starting staff, 3 brand new starters. Neither have gone more than 5 innings. So that'll be a big question for Scott Forbes and his bullpen today. And as you've already seen in this first inning, every base runner, every pitch, there's a bit of emotion here at Clark LeClaire.
No, right. And Carolina scuffled a little bit last weekend, although putting up a bunch of runs. 5 errors in that Sunday game, and that's definitely not what the staff for the Tar Heels wants to see. They obviously clean baseball wins championships.
It was a top 10 fielding team in the country last year for Carolina. Off to a bit of a shaky start, but the bats have carried the load.
No question.
Riley Johnson will hit leadoff for Cliff Godwin. He's had a nice series, 3 for 9 setting the stage. And some of the most elaborate sign cards you'll ever see. Johnson misses upstairs with Macon Hammond behind the plate today.
The key for every young pitcher is get ahead with that first pitch, and we'll see if OJ, as his teammates referred to him earlier, can find the strike zone and be competitive in this outing.
Cliff Godwin's lineup, 7 of the first 8, all lefties against this right-hander true freshman. It's a lineup that came to life yesterday, 15 hits, and you can already hear the atmosphere here in Greenville.
Yeah, I expect we'll hear plenty of the purple gold chant as the Pirates get in scoring position. And again, enough can't be said for the atmosphere today.
There's a 4-pitch walk, and already a factor with a leadoff man on. How do you handle these emotions as a player if you're Carolina?
You know what? This is, especially a young guy, right? I mean, this is quite an experience he's having. It's just a matter of deep breath, reset, and go back and do what he's done 1,000 times, which is throw strikes. There's a reason he's in this spot.
A well-tested, earned himself a spot in the rotation here. And now it's Carter Cunningham, the hottest hitter maybe in the state or the country this week, as the ball gets away from Stevenson.
You know what? That's the value of the fake bunt, right? It's just enough of a distraction and may give you a chance to see what kind of infield rotations you get, but it creates that opportunity for kind of blinding the catcher, pass ball, and does the job for him.
Tomas Frick, an All-American catcher last year, now in the minors. Stevenson played a handful of games, but an early mistake. That first pitch was a strike, so the count evens here to Stevenson, or to Cunningham, I should say, who was electric yesterday especially. 4 for 4 with 3 runs scored in that output for the Pirates.
Yeah, any guy that comes into the season or comes into this game hitting 500 at this depth in the year is off to an incredibly hot start.
Two programs with Omaha expectations, and you can feel it here in this first inning. And now a hitter's count to Cunningham.
Maybe most impressive was the graphic that was just up, 4-17 with runners in scoring position. It's great that guys hit, get on base, but productive at bats with opportunities to help your team is what puts you over the edge as an elite hitter.
Listen to this crowd on 3-1. Another walk for Johnson. Back-to-back runners on for ECU.
When you watch Johnson pitch, everything that you want as far as arm side run, the velocity's good. Right now, I think this is nerves. I think this goes back to what we talked a little bit about earlier, where you got a young guy out there trying to make his way. You can even kind of see it in his body language, kind of deep breaths and trying to get himself recentered.
There's pitching coach Brian Gaines, and this has been a challenge for Carolina this weekend. Not only the depth of starting pitchers, but managing the bullpen well to get to this game 3.
And I think that's a question with both clubs is where do we go? Where do we go from here if we get in trouble early? We're obviously seeing Sunday arms where the bullpens are relatively well rested, but you don't want to have to go there this early. We'll see how it works here if he can settle in. And again, don't put it past Cliff Godwin and the Pirates to try to force some action here coming off the conference.
We saw an arm getting ready. That was Dalton Pence in the pen. So here's Jacob Starling, who's playing in his 141st career game. He was electric yesterday as well for the Pirates. 4 for 5, a couple of runs scored. And his bat's starting to heat up here in week 2.
And there's nobody that's had bigger moments, bigger hits in his time here that Jacob Starling has had for these Pirates.
2 early walks for young Olin Johnson. And that one, a little friendly fire into his own dugout. These next 2 hitters, Starling and Jenkins Coward, all AAC, All-American candidates here for East Carolina. What an ideal start if you're ECU offensively.
Yeah, now that the Tar Heels want to minimize, and the Pirates obviously want to take advantage.
Now bunt attempt for Starling. That'll bring up Jace Vanderbrake and the first out. Little situational baseball there from Cliff Godwin.
And never a doubt that that's part of the repertoire of this Pirate offense. Again, the Tar Heels weren't fooled by that. Pass off, made a play, collect out at first base, understanding it's early in the game. A lot of baseball left to play. No matter what happens here, this Tar Heel offense is very capable of putting up a lot of runs as well. So we'll see how it goes the rest of the way. Jenkins Coward is obviously a guy that the Pirates have big expectations from. Off to a fast start as well, 440, 8 RBI. So, the deal here for me is the young pitcher's got to settle in and be able to compete in the zone.
First pitch gets down for a base hit. Jenkins Coward delivers 2 more and an early start for East Carolina. That's the 5th hit of the series for Jacob Jenkins Coward.
What's just staying within yourself. Again, using the middle of the field. What's lost on there, if you'll notice the base running by Cunningham at second base, he gets far enough to give himself the opportunity to score, knowing that there's no tag, freeze, read the ball down, and score easily. That's really, really good base running by the senior from second base.
The 2 early walks come back to bite Johnson here. And all of a sudden, this atmosphere, talk about throwing dynamite in the first inning.
When you have to wonder how much further can they go with the young right-hander in multiple ways. These outings have impact on future outings and the psyche of a young man. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Tar Heel bullpen even pick up the pace a little bit. It looks like they've got a left-hander down there, which would be a natural move against a largely left-handed lineup for the Pirates.
8 of 9 lefties for Cliff Godwin today. First hit of the game makes it 2-0 ECU. Jenkins Coward on the move. Little run and hit action, and Vanderbrake solid there at third base. That will advance him to second. Remember, for Carolina, Friday night ace and All-American candidate Jason Knapp was ruled out for the year with an injury back in late January. So this rotation a little pieced together. Connor Bovair, who was a longtime starter, has moved to the pen. So 3 new faces in Scott Forbes' rotation. Facing a veteran Pirate order, including 2-year starter behind the plate, Justin Wilcoxon.
You know, 2-out hits, too, are such a big deal in teams that are trying to go deep and win state championship. Have a chance to play for national titles and go deep in the season. 2-out scoring is critical.
Nice take from Wilcoxon for a 2-0 count. Wilcoxon among the top 25 catchers in the country, according to D1 Baseball. He's had a good start, 3 for 8 in this series. And Johnson unable to locate his secondary pitches right now. Which as a hitter really changes your mindset as well.
Man, it does. And I'm watching the young man on the mound just kind of, he's having one of those moments where he just almost can't wish it to where he wants it to go. And you know, when you feel that way, it's kind of a defeated feeling, and it's hard as a young college pitcher to get back in there.
Good use of the changeup on 3-0. Love the aggressive hack there from Wilcoxon.
You know, in a 3-1 count to a guy that has the pop that Wilcoxon has, no home runs on the year yet, but had double-digit home runs last year. Again, first base open, have to be a little bit careful with him here.
Now the 3-1 is rocketed to first. Nice stab by Harbor, and great coverage by the true freshman. Jacob Jenkins Coward gets things started for the Pirates early.
Yeah, look, what a great swing he puts on this ball. Stays with it, middle of the field, coach's dream.
So it's East Carolina with the 2-0 start. Scott Forbes now in year 4. What a great resume. Of course, his tenure goes back to a pitching coach for a decade, a hitting coach for multiple years under Mike Fox, and now his program 2 years ago off an ACC tournament title. They want to get back and prove they're within the top 15 in the country.
Oh, no question. And you know what, truly, and I say this with all sincerity, you've got two of the best staffs in the country from how they go about their business, their mutual respect for each other. They both decided we're going to play this series as long as we're both the head coaches. And Scott Forbes has every bit as much to do with that as Cliff Godwin. So there aren't enough accolades for what Scott has done in his career.
Scott led Carolina to its 10th ever Super Regional just 2 years back.
You know, and I'm going to say he's top 10 in the country with shoe game for head coach. He's always in vogue for the young guys.
The Jordan Brand kicks always add style as Alberto Ozuna, who's got some tremendous pop, fights one away. Last season was hampered due to an injury, but 2 years ago, 20 home runs in his first year at Carolina. All ACC standout.
Yeah, Ozuna's got big pop.
Jake Hunter challenges with a slider. And Ozuna's really shortened up his stance. Very patient take here.
And a pretty quality 0-2 pitch there. Sets up his next opportunity, and Hunter doing a good job of getting ahead.
Ozuna and the Tar Heels, they were explosive offensively. They scored 55 runs coming into the weekend. There was no team better among Division I programs. As Carolina pulling on a tight one Friday, ECU 7-4 yesterday. And now Hunter on 2-2. Goes by him with the heat. That was 91 up and in.
Fastball up and in above the strike zone. Hard to lay off that pitch, and Ozuna's the victim of the quality pitch up and in there. So, I mean, we're seeing more and more of that where guys are pitching above the barrel. Spin rate such an important measurable now in baseball, and again, saw it demonstrated right there by Jake Hunter.
Also the tempo that Hunter's working with. He is quick to the plate. The Stevenson foul was one off. That's a byproduct of pitching coach Austin Knight and a philosophy of this program. They want to challenge hitters at the plate.
Yeah, you're not going to see any Pirate pitchers work very slow, obviously, with the regulation for all of college baseball with the pitch clock. But these Pirate pitchers do not, or very rarely will bring it into play.
So Luke Stevenson, the first-year starting catcher, he was an elite prospect. Top 10 player in the whole state of North Carolina coming out of the Wake Forest area. And this do-or-die rubber match fouls that one off. Good hands by Brandon Riley, the first base coach.
Nice play down there. You know, when it's just warm enough where as a coach you'll consider fielding that ball. If it's any cooler, you're like, no, I'm letting it go. I don't want to deal with that for the rest of the game.
Low 50s today, but it is heating up here in this ballpark. 2 top 15 programs battling it out. That time Stevenson lays off. An 0 for 4 start at the plate. He's been a part of both games here in this series. This time Hunter goes down Broadway to get another strikeout, give him 3.
Yeah, I think that's a situation where Stevenson's looking something a little different. That's a fastball that caught a lot of plate and just enough to freeze the young catcher. And again, the biggest difference that we're seeing right now is Hunter is commanding the zone, which gives him an opportunity to compete and pitch off of his pitches a little different than what we're getting out of the young starter from Carolina.
You see the K count here in the jungle. This place is standing room only, sold out. It's hard to find a place to stand here in Greenville. After excellent crowds the last 2 days, 6,000 plus down at the minor league park, Segra Stadium in Fayetteville, and nearly 4,000 in Chapel Hill on Friday.
Yeah, there'll be 15,000, 16,000 people that will have had the opportunity to watch these teams compete live this weekend, and countless others that are tuned in with us right now. It's a big deal, not only in North Carolina, but nationally in the world of college baseball.
Here is Jackson Vanderbrake, third sibling to play college baseball. And now the 0-2. His older brother, Jace, was a standout all-conference at Gonzaga. He's now in the minors, and his other brother, Justin, played at Washington State. They're out of Yakima, Washington, way up north. Slow start here in year 2 for Jackson. And a nice take to even the count.
Pirate fans are going to definitely want that one, and as does Jake.
Remember last year, though, Vanderbrake, 40 walks as a freshman. Excellent eye in year 1. So Hunter changes speeds for the punch out, striking out the side here in the second.
Again, the story of the day, Jake Hunter commanded the zone, having the ability to go right at these Tar Heel pitchers and having great success in doing so.
East Carolina's pitching staff has come to play here in Greenville. The bats up to work when we return. Here's 10th year head coach Cliff Godwin, who not only looks for win 356, but this would be, if the Pirates continue this start, their first series win over the Tar Heels since 2014. What a dynamic start here at 4-2 for ECU.
Yeah, you know what? And nobody pours more into their program than what Cliff Godwin has done here. And, knocked on that proverbial door year after year. Every year their expectation is to break it down. And, we'll kind of see both these teams have that thought process every time they take the field.
The elephant in the room you speak of is a trip to Omaha. Both teams have made supers the last 2 years. That pitch stays outside. Carolina has a similar hill to climb. 2 trips to the national finals back in 06 and 07. But yet to win the proverbial national title. And now the freshman with a quick conversation with his catcher.
Yeah, he's missed around the zone, but I think it's fair to say badly with those first 2 pitches. The other thing you find in these situations with your pitching staff is if he tries to get too fine here, you don't want him to serve up a pitch that ends up being a home run. Now, I think that's also maybe we're seeing the traditional little bit of a stall, but still not a ton of urgency from the Carolina pen.
Second career start for Olin Johnson, and he's fallen way behind Luke Nowak.
He's got that consistent miss, right? It's arm side. He's got the mechanics that kind of fall him off to the first base side, and it seems like that's creating a little bit of his inconsistency. There we see the left-hander up and heating up a little bit for the Tar Heels.
That's a 4-pitch walk. And remember, the first inning, it was back-to-back walks that led to 2 runs.
And those 4 pitches were basically the same pitch.
So 3 walks early for the Pirates.
And again, I think this kind of cements the theory that we've had and have discussed that, the bullpen depth may not be what the Tar Heels need it to be right now, or you would think a change would be imminent. The young man is really struggling, and this does bring Coach Forbes out.
So the pitching change is in order here for UNC.
Yeah.
Scott Forbes with some quick words for his talented freshman Olin Johnson, who, like you said, just had trouble controlling the fastball today.
Yeah, and again, consistent misses, and that's something at least you can work with. He's not bouncing balls and throwing balls up the backstop. And look, the analytics, the video, all the technology that Carolina has, they'll take him back to the lab and they'll doctor it up and figure it out and try to get him in a repeatable position where he can have success.
So Dalton Pence ready to come into this game. There you go, pitching change in order. We'll take the quick break with a new arm coming in for Carolina when we return. Former midweek starter and heavily used arm Dalton Pence comes out of the UNC bullpen. Now in his redshirt sophomore year, this is the 4th outing. He's already pitched in a game this weekend. What's the expectation here for Dalton coming into the second?
His job is to come in and obviously keep this thing right where it is. And I can tell you, this kid being from Cherryville, North Carolina, American Legion Baseball is such a big deal. Bobby Dale Reynolds, I had an opportunity to go up there with our Post-39 team and play. I can promise you this atmosphere is not too big for him. He pitched in very similar type of amped up crowds all the way through his high school time. So, again, the thought process is, hey, come in, hold us right where we're at, get us back in the dugout, and give our offense a chance to get us back in this game.
More impressively for Pence, he threw in 2 regional games, earned back-to-back saves against Wright State, and then forced into that regional final against Indiana State. That's the challenge here with 3 walks for Olin Johnson, forcing the call to the pen.
Again, as the coaching staff from the Hills know that we're only chasing 2 with our offense. That's clearly not a big deal. So the thought process in the Tar Heel dugout is, hey, again, hold us right here, get us back in. We feel like we could score at least 3. The Pirates have the urgency to tack on, right? They've got to keep trying to win each inning and just put up a number, put something on the scoreboard. So that's kind of where both teams are, and we'll see how it shakes out.
Fan favorite and senior Cam Clonch steps in. Oh, a throw gets away from the first baseman Harbor. And now the speed of Nowak is on full display. All the way to third and in there.
Wow. Hey, you know, that ball didn't get that far away. That's two things you see there. That was a really smart base running. So he comes back into the bag on the throw, and he steps kind of into the first baseman's chest. So you'll see as he comes in, he steps into the chest. Now that prevents the first baseman from getting to that ball that's on the backside of him. Ball gets just far enough away that the speedy Nowak has really no problem getting to third base.
All of a sudden, a man at third with nobody out. This is an area where Cliff Godwin's been aggressive in small ball today.
Oh, look, nothing would surprise me. Lots of ways to score from third base. Again, Coach Godwin knows that scoring this run wins this inning, and you continue to do that, and you win a lot of games.
Deep fly ball could do the trick as well. This is Vance Honeycutt with a high-level arm, but no option on that one. A sac fly makes it 3-0.
Great job by Clonch. Again, if you notice where the continual success is for this club and for most good college hitters is heart of the field. You'll watch Clonch swing here. No, I mean, he's not trying to do anything other than get deep fly ball, score the run. It's a team run. It's a professional at bat. And again, it puts you in position to now they've won this inning.
Taking advantage of back-to-back Carolina mistakes in 2 straight innings. And now it's Joey Barini in the bottom of this lineup. 9-1-2 coming up for the Pirates, who scored 9 runs a game coming in. Carolina, of course, has averaged 14 runs a game in the first 2 weeks. These clubs could certainly light it up.
You know, we talked about clean baseball, and you see that example over there. One miscue, guy advances to third base. So easy to score from third for these guys. Those are the kind of things that dictate these types of series.
This ball's rocketed to center, and the All-American Vance Honeycutt all over it for the second out. This is a ballpark that traditionally plays small, but with the weather today, it could play pitcher-friendly if you use it right.
Yeah, anything to center field here, kind of within the 2 light poles that are out and straight away. It's a kind of a cavernous park out there. Where you get in trouble is if you start working down the lines or to these outside light poles, it can shorten up.
Now Riley Johnson at the top of the Pirate order. We've noted those 3 walks in the first 2 innings. ECU was 12th in the country last year in drawing free passes. Very patient approach. As Dalton Pence falls behind. In an environment like this, in a series decider, those extra runners could really play a factor. All 3 have scored today.
Doug Stevenson trying to buy that pitch for his pitcher up there. You know, the new theory of catching is the bulk strike, and you see him doing a really good job of kind of working that corner, sticking that pitch, trying to let the umpire have a good look at it, but just missing.
That's an element that has allowed Salvador Perez of the Royals to excel in the big leagues. He led the league last year in strikes earned. Like that frame right there. Good work.
That's a great example. That was kind of on cue there. He kind of brought that one back to the zone and was able to buy the strike.
So now Dalton Pence is back in business thanks to Luke Stevenson. Here's his payoff pitch. Line drive to center with Honeycutt all over it. So with the pitching change, Carolina escapes the threat. Just 1 run in, and ECU early. Very productive in a 3-0 start here at home. North Carolina off a nice season, not only back in the tournament, but all the way up to the Terry Howard Regional Final. One thing to note with UNC, top starter Jason Knapp out for the year coming in. He had a preseason injury in January. This is a reload, rebuilding program, but right now, Mike, at a 5-1 start, the Bats have carried UNC in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what it's going to take for them to have success against this Pirate team. Chasing 3. Again, it's kind of a scrap. Find a way to score a run or two, get yourself within a run, and see if that offense can carry you ultimately against the Pirate bullpen.
You can tell these two programs love battling each other out. 96th all-time meeting. 4 of the last 5 matchups have been one-run games. And the lone difference was yesterday with a 7-4 ECU win. So Colby Wilkerson, multi-year starter on the infield. He's moved to shortstop this year for UNC. He'll hit 9th and complete Scott Forbes' lineup.
Kind of the first time we've seen this for Jake Hunter tonight, or this afternoon, where he's fallen behind 2-0 pretty quickly.
Wilkerson flares one to left with Nowak all over it. All of a sudden, 5 straight retired, and with the lead here if you're Jake Hunter.
And that's philosophy: pitch to contact, throw soft contact, right? Try to be efficient, extend your outing. It saves your bullpen. It helps your team stay in the rhythm of the game. It fell behind 2-0.
And the last 2 nights, Savage goes 6, Root 7 for ECU.
Yep, that's right. The starting pitching has been very, very good for the Pirates.
There's pitching with some defense as well, and Hunter helps himself.
Again, it's efficiency, right? I mean, he turned a 2-0 to the first batter into back-to-back outs. That's about as efficient as you can be.
Center fielder number 7.
This pitching staff under Austin Knight, hard to translate through 2 weeks, but to have a 1 ERA, that's pretty impressive.
And again, there have been some walks, and maybe if there's been a chink in the armor, it would be the number of walks, but still manageable numbers. And you're right, that the ERA is special.
Speaking of special, here's an All-American candidate, Vance Honeycutt. That strikeout about the only thing slowing down this third-year draft-eligible prospect. His defense is certainly one thing. He's been on SportsCenter 3 different times for top 10 catches.
Yeah, it looked like Jake Hunter tried to do a little too much with that breaking ball, maybe overthrew it a little bit, knowing that, this guy is the guy. We'll see what he does 2-0 here. Comes back with a much better pitch. Let it do what it's supposed to do, fall through the bottom of the zone, try to induce a ground ball.
So Honeycutt, with 3 hits in these first 2 games, has now reached base safely in 41 straight. If you go back to March of last season, just a tremendous start. As this ball is rocketed out of play. An opportunity here, and a couple rows deep.
I mean, that was as close as it could be without staying in the field of play. It was right there. Both Wilcoxon and Cunningham chasing it out of bounds, giving it a good look. And I'm going to tell you, I've watched Wilcoxon a bunch on those catcher pop-ups, and as a former catcher, that's something you take pride in. He chases them to the last second. He wants the opportunity to get that free out if he can help his pitcher out.
With Greenville legend Mike Mullis here, I'm EvanBudrovich. Game 3 of this rubber match, top 15 battle. And Honeycutt works the count full.
This situation where you are facing such a dynamic player like Honeycutt, but you're pitching with a 3-run lead, it is very early, but a solo home run does not cause a problem for you necessarily, so an out right here is critical.
Another foul ball. Good at bat brewing here. Pitch 8 coming up.
And I guess what I mean by that is you would far rather Honeycutt, let's go after him, try to get him out, as opposed to give him a free pass to first base, and then you turn around facing a hitter like Parks Harbor.
Honeycutt does have a home run against the Pirates in his tenure, both this year and last season. Jake Hunter ready to go on pitch 8 of the at-bat. And a good one. Fastball challenges the All-American, and he gets the strikeout.
I tell you what, that's a gutsy pitch. Jake Hunter just reached back, dialed up the old number 1, 91 miles an hour, top half of the zone. That's what you're asking him to do.
Great battle here in Game 3. Pirates up 3.
we call it drive. The unrelenting desire to become the person you were born to be. Ignited by a moment. The realization that a future you could only dream of is within reach. At East Carolina University, you won't just imagine a path, you'll forge one through hard work and the success that comes without surrender. The journey that leads to your future. And this is where it begins.
Welcome back to Greenville. Last season, East Carolina, 47 wins. They got hot at the end of the year, all the way to a regional final up in Charlottesville. And this year's team offensively, Mike, might be even better than last year's. That as a team hit 292.
Yeah, you know what? I think you saw it right there with Cunningham showing bunt. It's the selfless nature of the program.
Good pick there by Harbor, and a nice start for Carolina. But to your point on those bats.
Yeah, the selfless nature of the program that, hey, we're going to come up and figure out what we have to do to give ourselves a chance to generate opportunities, runs. But, yeah, this club is coming into the year, and really the first time we really got a good taste of it was yesterday. But the offensive expectations are probably at a recent high.
The team coming in hitting .320 in the first 2 weeks. And Starling's out in front.
Pretty good little off-speed pitch by Pence there.
Jacob Starling, who has postseason history in this ballpark, back to the Super Regional against Texas 2 years prior. Some big games in the senior's career. He's down 1-2. Earlier today, he had a sac bunt that set up the 2-run first. Cliff Godwin describes him as an absolute gamer. Not your prototypical 3-hole hitter, but making things happen. Not that time, though. Good pitch for Dalton Pence.
Yeah, now you're seeing the value of again, competing in his zone and throwing strikes and being able to utilize your various pitches. Very, very different game as we see Pence settle in and kind of making short work to this point of this half inning for the Pirates. I think that got him
tight, and it does hit the hand of Jacob.
Yeah, I thought it got him.
Okay, that's ruled a strike, as a matter of fact. And now Cliff Godwin with a question.
Just to start a conversation for sure. I thought that got him right off the pitch. It was either it may be the knob of the bat. I mean, but I felt pretty confident that it was enough. Yeah, there it is.
And
knob
typically
of the bat.
you'll hear that as well if you're an umpire.
Yep. JJC doing all he can to get out of the way.
Making Hammond all over it with that call, so it's an 0-1 count. This is a hitter who's taken huge strides now in year 3. The average is up to .462.
I'm going to tell you the improvements this year are marked. I mean, I had a tough injury last year and kind of struggled through the back half of the season, but coming off an incredible freshman campaign and this year has been as good as anybody in the country, save his teammate Carter Cunningham. So, yeah, great to see Jenkins Cowher swinging the bat at the level he's swinging it.
There were 3 big losses from last year. Lane Hoover, a scrappy hitter. Josh Moylan, 15 home runs. And then Alec Makarevich to NC State. There was a need for power in the heart of this lineup.
Yeah, and if there's a fault with JJC, he's such a good hitter, such incredible eye-hand coordination that he can sometimes offer pitches that he shouldn't, and that was a sign of maturity right there. That was a close enough pitch, and I think a year ago we see Jenkins Cowher offer to that pitch, shows the discipline there to lay off of it, and 2-out base runner.
So that extends the inning for Dalton Pence, who's already pitched 2 innings. That was on Friday night in the 2-1 Carolina win. So here's Greenville product, Dixon Williams, homegrown. Nice pitch from Pence.
Pretty good opener.
Those front door sliders.
I mean, that's a pretty good opener. And this, you know, the deal here, the action typically with left-handers is you've got to defend against the arm side run. Well, you can open up the other side of the plate. It makes it tough for a hitter to stay on, the pitch. And I mean, Pitts is doing a great job again because of being effectively in and around the zone, whether it is a ball or a strike. It still gives him something to pitch off of, and he's opened up both sides of the dish, and that makes anybody, hard to get to.
Pence challenging Williams here, whose dad was a golfer at UNC Wilmington. You could tell how much it matters to Williams, the homegrown kid, who in next year's draft among players in the American Athletic, the conference ECU's in, top 10 draft prospects with a ton of potential here for the sophomore. Now the 0-2, and again spoiling one off.
The former D.H. Conley Viking played for Jason Mills and is definitely, as you said, homegrown, diehard Pirate. And look, you can catch his dad here at scrimmages, and anytime he's got a free minute, he's here and invested in the program and watching his son play. And Dixon making the most of his opportunity this year.
I want to see his dad at Pinehurst for the U.S. Open this year. Tremendous golfing state here in the Carolinas. So now a 1-2 count. That shot gives you a sense of how special this rivalry is. Rubber match, sold-out crowd at Clark LeClaire. And Williams deposits one to left. Challenging dive, and Cook is all over it.
Nice catch there. Hangs up that ball's tailing hard back to the line and hangs up just enough for the left fielder to make a little layout and collect that one and end the inning.
Defense, the story of this game so far. Nice catch here by Cook. Welcome back to Greenville, where these teams continue an epic series. The last 2 years, it's been a best of 3 early in the non-conference. And all of a sudden, Mike, you look at these two programs from a regional standpoint, both with hosting opportunities. How important is this Game 3 for both North Carolina and East Carolina?
No, it's everything early in the year. You also have some recruiting implications at hand here. That East Carolina had some recruits behind the BP shell today watching. So, yeah, a lot of moving parts here and a lot of things factoring to two teams that have a lot of kids that are really familiar with each other, play with each other in summer and high school. So, yeah, just a cool series to see. These two quality clubs, both from the state of North Carolina, get together and mix it up in a rubber match on Sunday.
Carolina won 2 of 3 last year, with one of those games being moved back with some weather issues early in the season. So far, UNC Game 1 in a tight 2-1 game. East Carolina's bats came alive yesterday, 7-4. Now, early in Game 3, it's good pitching here from Jake Hunter, pounding the zone against Casey Cook.
You know, and that's what he's done so well right there. If he does fall behind, he finds a way to get back in it, swing the count back in his favor, at least try to work even, and that opens up a lot of opportunity for him.
Remember, it was Casey Cook's great diving catch a moment ago, and if this was SportsCenter, he hit a home run in this at-bat. That's how things work.
Yeah, how many times have we seen that? It is crazy how that works.
Cook is just 1 for 8 in this series. And now a full count. 5 strikeouts, the real story for Jake Hunter early.
Yeah, you know, we're into the fourth, 50 pitches, so fairly efficient. You know, 12, 15 is kind of where you like to live and per inning. So, yeah, good outing to this point.
His payoff pitch is fouled away.
Let's set it over to the beverage tent.
There'll be a lot of fans enjoying that tent today. What a great atmosphere.
You know, so I guess the Tar Heels returned the favor of the color rush uni today after the Pirates wore their powder purples on Friday. Boy, that's a close pitch.
The leadoff walk here for Casey Cook.
Really good job laying off that pitch for ball 4. But yeah, we see the Heels rolling here in their powder unis today. Yeah, a little further in than it looked initially. Again, another good job by a catcher of at least making it look interesting.
Carolina blue, East Carolina gold. Hard to get much better.
No, that's
two
right.
dominant colors, and especially in this state. As Parks Harbor fouls one off in a region with 8 combined ranked programs in both North and South Carolina. This really gives you a sense of how important this game is and how regionally these programs sit.
Oh yeah, it's crazy with you know the big dog right now being Wake sitting number 1, coming off a midweek loss to UNC Greensboro.
Clemson also in the top 10 in the Carolinas, and then Coastal completes it at 25. Something also tells me this week with Campbell's big win over ECU, they could be right back in the rankings soon.
Completely agree with you.
Jake Hunter getting ahead of the Georgia transfer, who rockets a line drive to short. Hit it as hard as you could on the screws, but Joey Barini's all over it.
You know, for a second I got stuck between the monitor and actually looking at it, and I thought Barini had the old knock it down, pick it up in the effort to turn the double play. But, man, that thing's close. That thing had some dive on it, didn't it?
It definitely spun in his mitt there.
Yeah, it had. I thought that's what we had. I thought he'd kind of knock that thing down and we were going to see the headsy double play turn.
That's next level thinking, right? Because you got to plan ahead a little bit.
Well, I mean, you know, it's instincts. It's instincts.
Well, as all good ball players will say. Here with Mike Mullis, I'm EvanBudrovich. A tight game 3 to decide this series. You get a feeling the winner of this weekend, with Oregon State going down to Arkansas, might have a chance to sneak into the top 10.
Very likely.
Clemson, of course, in danger of losing its series to Kennesaw State. They're in a battle here in game 3. As that ball hits the catcher, Wilcoxon.
Wilcoxon says he's all good, and those are the nuances of baseball that a lot of people don't recognize. You know, the umpire's not doing anything other than giving, you know, the catcher a chance to catch his breath, and that's just a common decency and common courtesy for guys that spend their time back there with the tools of ignorance on.
Did you call the catching gear the tools of ignorance?
I spent a lifetime back there, and I've heard that so many times. The tools of ignorance. You gotta be a special breed to put it on and get back there. But in my opinion, it's the greatest position in all of sports.
Now the 1-1 pitch. That time he's all over it behind the plate.
Tell you what, he pulled the string on that. It's a nice, really nice 1-1 pitch. Little change piece there.
Jake Hunter's ability to mix pitches. He's had success with the high fastball. And now he's searching for strikeout number 6. Anthony D'Onofrio, who started his career at Stony Brook, and what a nice win over LSU this week for the Seawolves.
Again, just the nature of college baseball. You just don't know on any given day.
Now the 2-2 is popped up. Opportunity here for Williams. And that door is shut.
Yeah, Dixon was playing a little more up the middle than he usually would be, as the Pirates' defense is in a kind of a modified shift, or with Barini playing straight away behind second base. So ball hung up a long time. Dixon gave him plenty of time to go there and take a look, but no chance. That was probably 10, 15 feet deep.
D'Onofrio had some power at Quinnipiac. 23 career home runs in 2 seasons. In a tight battle with Jake Hunter, who goes back to 2-2. And another pop-up. Nowak coming in. He'll call off his third baseman, and there's the second out.
Yeah, that's one of those where if you're Dixon Williams and you're drifting back there, you're just wanting to hear that left fielder say, "I got you, partner. You can peel off." And you can see him kind of looking over his shoulder. I'm sure it's a little bit loud down there, but that was one of those that definitely left fielder's ball. Good job of communicating, and Nowak recording the out.
That's when you're stuck in the Costco line. You need someone else to say, "Hey, this lane's open," right? You don't want to get stuck behind 10.
That's right. So you see the shift swing the other way. Dixon taking away the line here. Now Barini playing kind of straight up the middle, even to a step to the shortstop side of the bag.
Ozuna chops one foul. Remember, the major league game, this is not allowed anymore with the shifting and the analytics side of it. But in the college game, it still can allow hitters to play against that shift if they want to.
And look, if Osuna wants to lay a bunt down and push it past the first baseman, the Pirates will take that right now and not even throw him another pitch.
The DH fouls one off.
I mean, we've already discussed the power he has, and again, if he wants to play that game, that with 2 outs, they will gladly take it.
Ozuna with 34 career home runs. Here's Jake Hunter's 0-2, and the slider just misses.
That's a perfect 0-2 pitch. It had to hit the catcher right where he was sitting, which was off the dish. The fans really don't have the perspective that we have and that you have at home watching this on TV. That's an ideal 0-2, and now again it opens up a lot of the plate.
Ozuna hanging around. And the 1-2 is fouled off. This is one area of a Scott Forbes coach team. Always a good team of working the count and fighting off pitches.
Yeah, no question. And I mean, that's quality baseball teams at large, right? They find a way to win with 2 strikes, find a way to score with 2 outs, and again extend the pitcher's numbers and make the effort to get into the bullpen.
So here's Jake Hunter's 66th pitch. This one might stay on the infield. Wilcoxon stares into the sun, and he's got it. So Jake Hunter getting his kicks with 4 innings on that Route 66. His Pirates are up 3 here early. We are in the heart of Greenville, North Carolina, located in Pitt County, and you can tell both these programs not only have local players, but players who grew up together. They know each other. Mike, you live in the area. Give us a sense of what this game means to UNC and ECU.
No big deal, and obviously looking at what you see on the screen in front of you, Hugh Collins was a transfer from Clayton, played 1 year over at Rose High. Riker Galaska, Pitt Community College product, Rose High product, now a Tar Heel. Matthew Mateus and Dixon Williams, both D.H. Conley products, played for Jason Mills right down the road. So, yeah, just a cool environment. And for those that don't know, the Rose-Conley matchup is probably one of the most historic in the state. A lot of state champions have come out of that, a lot of collegiate players, and a lot of really epic high school baseball games. So, yeah, big deal. We may get a chance at some point to see a Pitt County matchup if we get Matthias in the game for Carolina and Dixon Williams at the plate.
And then the Zebulon native, Aiden Howe, comes in. He's 6'6". Explosive arm, and Justin Wilcoxon fouls one off.
Yeah, JUCO transfer from Fayetteville Tech, right down the road where the game took place last night.
An associate of Pitt County, if you will.
There you go.
Group it all together. One thing for sure, these two programs, you talk about marquee names. Two of the winningest programs in the state the last 10 years.
Yeah, I know the Pirates are really, Wilcox has had some success this weekend, but it's certainly not looked himself with kind of the power numbers and even some of his ABs. Good take on that 93-mile-an-hour fastball, but the Pirates would like to see him get there. You see, Coach Godwin's down there yelling words of encouragement. He's a big part of the offense and a guy that, had been contemplated as a DH/catcher. And right on cue, kind of gets up and off the fist and up the middle.
Good play there by Wilkerson to get the first out. Carolina coming into this game, and you noted last week the 5 errors against Wagner. That's been a point of emphasis for Scott Forbes early.
Yeah, and we've seen it on the Pirates side of the baseball too, right, where there were some questionable drop fly balls, and there's been drop tag at second base on a caught steal. And so both teams kind of trying to find their way early defensively. And the irony is, both these teams have just traditionally and historically in the tenures of these coaches, both teams have played such great defense. So, but kind of the cruelty of baseball. You feel like you've got pitching you can hit, and then all of a sudden the thing that you felt like you could really hang your hat on is where you struggle.
Think about Dustin Ackley, Carolina, elite infielders. There's plenty more names, but these two teams have always fielded the ball well. Right now, though, it's Aiden Howe falling behind in the count to Luke Nowak, who walked earlier today.
We've seen Luke's speed on display earlier, going from first to third on the attempted pick. Again, not afraid to lay one down here.
He shows some power this time with a fly ball to right. D'Onofrio with room, and all of a sudden that park hangs on to keep it in.
Yeah, that's definitely not Luke's game necessarily, and he kind of looks like he gets this one off one-handed a little bit inside. He fought to stay inside, didn't get the good part of the baseball bat on the ball, but kind of a lazy fly ball out there to in front of the student section.
And a lot of disappointed people out there.
Yeah,
right?
they were looking for a souvenir.
One of the best atmospheres you'll see in the country here today. A sellout at Clark LeClaire Stadium. This has been a 2-year running of this new rivalry, 3-game series. Really adds some intensity to it. Second weekend of the year. As Aiden Howe gets strike one.
Yeah, Klein shakes on. Yeah, that was a strike. I don't know if you saw, too, right before that pitch. He takes a peek down there to third base and kind of get a feel for where he is. Kind of talking himself through this at bat and disappointed that he missed that fastball.
All of a sudden, for Carolina, this is an important 0 to slow down a red-hot ECU offense.
No question.
As Clonch fists one foul.
What Howe's shown he could do is get inside on left-handers, and that's a big deal.
Aiden Howe in only his 3rd career appearance. He threw in the midweek Tuesday and over Bears one at 92.
He definitely has that frame that you like to see out of the big right-handers and the velocity to kind of match up with it.
Now full count to Clonch.
breaking ball top of the zone that just doesn't have the bite he needs. 3-2. Big pitch for Howe here.
Crowd comes to life. And called strike 3. Aiden Howe pulling the bender to end the inning. First 1-2-3 for Carolina here today. This game remains tight. Jake Hunter, electric start with strikeouts early, Mike.
Yeah, no, he's had really good stuff. Again, largely commanded the zone. We've seen him a little late, of late, fall behind 2-0 to a couple guys. We'll see how that bears out of this inning again. This is where games are won and lost, right? The momentum's kind of in the middle of the ballpark, and to get back in the dugout, have a chance to score some runs, that's how you win these big ball games.
Jake Hunter, 1 strikeout shy of his career best, and that was last week against a Rider program. A little different caliber in terms of competition hitting-wise. We noted with UNC 46 runs in the Wagner Series sweep.
You know, it's strange the Pirates scored 30, and they were almost doubled up by the Tar Heels last weekend. So it's, yeah, both teams can certainly put runs on the board.
Here's Luke Stevenson in the bottom third of the Carolina order. This was big shoes to fill with Tomas Frick, multi-time All-ACC catcher. Stevenson was more in a DH role last year. Did start just over 10 games.
It seemed like Tomas Frick was at Carolina forever. I mean, he was just that kind of steady guy back there, an incredible player.
This is an elite high school prospect coming out of Wake Forest High School. Among the freshmen in all of the ACC, D1 Baseball has him as the number 3 impact freshman.
You know, in Wake Forest High School, that area in general has quite a tradition in producing players that go on and have great collegiate and even, you know, professional careers. So he's just another one in a long string, again, kind of like what we see coming out of Pitt County, and it goes back to how strong baseball is in the state at the collegiate level.
This ball is hit a mile into the sky. Barini calls everybody off and makes the catch. So 7 fly ball outs early for Jake Hunter.
Yeah, that's that one that stays up there forever. Just keep your feet moving, never get caught, you know, still underneath it, and let it take you where it may, because it's going to have some bend as it.
What do you make of those splits, right? So the strikeouts are one thing, but a fly ball pitcher today.
Yeah, you know, kind of interesting. I wouldn't typically have said that I would expect to see Hunter throw a bunch of fly balls, but, you know, we've seen him pitch in top half of the zone, and we've seen some lift on the breaking balls.
Here's Jackson Vanderbrake. And then Hunter starting to rip those changeups and breaking balls in there for strikes.
Yeah, doubled up on breaking balls there, and, you know, when you get to where you could do that and get a guy 0-2, again, it opens up the whole toolbox.
Senior Jackson Vanderbrake down in the 0-2 hole.
Again, another really good 0-2 pitch. Pitch with intent. You know, you hear folks talk about wasting an 0-2 pitch. You never want to waste a pitch, right? Go after a pitch, throw that pitch for what you're going to do next, and you may see the fastball climb here.
Instead, right down the middle.
Yeah, he just went right at him with it.
So Vanderbrake becomes the 6th strikeout victim.
Yeah.
You can tell, right, though, the hitter expecting one thing and getting another.
Yeah, and this is Hunter doing exactly what he needs to do. This is, if he can have a quick out here, it's nearly the equivalent of them scoring another run, getting him back in the dugout and trying to shift momentum back to the Pirates side of the field.
9-hole hitter Colby Wilkerson now up. Wilkerson started every game at shortstop last year. He was one of the few to stay healthy for Carolina. They lost Vance Honeycutt come tournament time. Osuna is well out with injury, but here's the healthy Wilkerson popping one up. And there you go. 6 straight retired for Jake Hunter. He's cruising through 5 scoreless. This East Carolina offense, with Carter Cunningham really leading the charge, have made a donation here for the Maynard's Children's Hospital just down the street from campus. You combine the number of home runs hit at home and the success offensively. What a neat charity to give back to local children. Yeah,
$300 would be a game sponsor, $100 for each home run hit in your game that you sponsor, and they've already raised $1,800. I think the neatest part is that Cliff Godwin was the first sponsor on that Friday night, and the kids are making bi-weekly trips over to the hospital to deliver the money. So what a great cause, and again, another testament to the character of these athletes.
More than just the game, that's certainly a point. And you can tell by this community investment here in Greenville how much it matters. A baseball team that is off to a 4-2 start. Both these programs right among the top 15 in the country. Joey Barini, 9-1-2 in the Pirate order. There's only been 2 combined hits in this game. Very pitching dominant. But the walks have been the bugaboo for Carolina as Aiden Howe works in his 2nd inning.
Yeah, walks and the miscue over at first base are a big part of it. You know, it looks to me like Hall's philosophy is going to be he's going to try to get these lefties out in. So as long as he gets it in, he'll be fine. You get it out over the plate a little bit, miss. That's the fear of throwing in. But as we look at the flag, it looks like it's kind of working back.
Good elevated fastball there.
Yeah, working back into the ballpark, which makes pitching into to these lefties a little safer.
Now that we're Pirates at the top of the order.
So Aiden Howe gets his first out right there. Back-to-back strikeouts for Howe. Remember, the Pitt Community College transfer. This is only his 3rd career college appearance at the D1 level.
Howe, Fayetteville Community College.
Or Fayetteville.
Fayetteville, yeah.
Great point.
I mean, he's getting ahead of guys quickly. He's copying Jake Hunter.
2 blue bloods here in the state of North Carolina battling it out. And a slow popper for Johnson that drops in. So there's the 2nd hit of the game for ECU.
You know, again, he tries to go in on Johnson, and I wouldn't even say he caught just a little too much plate. I think Johnson did a better job of getting inside of that ball and literally just about placing it out there. I mean, it goes in as a hit. It looks like a line drive in the book. but definitely not great contact, but just enough.
Riley
Bringing up
Johnson,
a red
so
hot
reminiscent with size, stature, and style of play as all-conference standout Lane Hoover, who just graduated last year. It's unique with Cliff Godwin. There's kind of a prototype of player. He sort of fits those boxes a lot. Undersized, under-recruited, but making an impact in the top of this order. With more attention over there at first.
Yeah, Riley's been a good player as long as he's been here. He's been banged up a lot, and that's been the challenge for him, but now he's healthy and making his impact.
Johnson on the move. Great throw to second, and they got him. Stevenson, the cannon.
Yeah, that's, take a chance here in this situation. Again, staff from East Carolina trying to get something started. Great catch and throw, or throw and catch and tag if it be. But, yeah, that thing was on the money.
I know Jacob Cozart's in the ACC, but Stevenson there with a great pop time. All of a sudden, strike one. This is a catching conference. Of course, Georgia Tech may be catcher U right now, but there's Carolina flexing its muscle. One pitch away from a clean inning. Aiden Howe right back to it. And this is the size matchup that NBA scouts are all about. 6'6" pitcher and the 6'5" Carter Cunningham battled it out. Advantage, Cunningham blasts one to right. It's into the jungle.
That's one of those he tries to get in, just doesn't quite get it in far enough, and Cunningham, being red hot like he is, deposits that ball over the right field wall.
7th home run of the year for the Pirates, and there's some offense here in the 5th.
Yeah, you see it, just kind of hung up, little breaking pitch, and catches way too much of the plate, and Cunningham's on time for it with 2 strikes. And again, puts a great swing on it, and away she goes.
We showed you earlier in the inning the donations to the local children's hospital, all coming full circle here for East Carolina. And with the wind blowing in today, that's a rare example of putting the ball with some distance on.
Yeah, you hit that ball through the traffic, no problem. Plenty strong, big kid like you were alluding to.
Now one of the smallest players by height, Jacob Starling. But he's got tremendous pop as well. And then you combine that Pablo Sanchez of backyard baseball size. It's hard to find the strike zone here.
Yeah, this is a scary pitch for Hall here, 2-0 to a guy that can
took an aggressive hack there.
Yeah, kind of figured he would be. I mean, that's kind of the one for you, 2 for the team mentality, and a 2-0 count, hitters count 2-0, 3-1. You want to get off your best bolt. And
how vital now is that throw from Stevenson to keep this a 4-0 game?
Oh, big deal, big deal. And
look at those kids enjoying life on the dugout before this 2-2. That works the count full. And Stevenson wants a new ball. Looks like it got scuffed up. Remember, starter Olin Johnson, true freshman, was exited in the 2nd inning, struggled to throw strikes. And it's been a bullpen game since for Scott Forbes. Starling shoots one out of play.
a lot of people didn't know or didn't think that Starling would be back. Thought maybe something would happen with a free agent deal last year in professional baseball. But, man, the Pirate faithful are certainly glad he is.
This pop-out should end the inning with Wilkerson there. But it's the power of Carter Cunningham fueling the Pirates to a 4-0 lead as we're halfway through this series finale.
1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and that's okay.
This game summary brought to you by Grady White Boats, and this game has come down to East Carolina taking advantage of a couple of walks, and on the pitching side, Jake Hunter doing a nice job controlling this lineup.
No, that's the story of the game, right? Jake Hunter's outing to this point, again, efficient, effective, and starts right back to work and falls behind this guy. But again, we've seen him do this and get right back in counts all day. This
is the top of a Carolina order that's been held in check. One hit in the first 5 innings. Here's Alex Madera. We talk about the world of transfers and bringing in big-time prospects. Played at a Division III program. Arcadia University, was a 2-time Conference Player of the Year. And a veteran, turning 24 this October. A number that in college baseball these days is nothing new, right?
Yeah, well,
grad transfers and things of that nature.
It's funny. Across all of college sports, it's nothing to have the guys, around their mid-20s.
Jake Hunter falling behind. Challenges Madera. And Joey Barini all over it for the first out. 80 pitches right now if you're Jake Hunter. What's the limit? How far do you want to go if you're ECU?
I would think, 90, maybe 95 is the max. But he's gotten to this number, again, fairly efficiently with not a ton of duress. So you feel like 95 is probably comfortable as long as they're still seeing what they want to see from, mechanics and velocity.
He's pounded the zone for a career-high 6 punch-outs so far. And one thing he's done well, just seeing this at-bat as well, keeping Carolina off balance with certain pitch sequences.
Yeah, no, he sinks that off speed, and then we've seen him with the breaking ball a bunch and then pitch fastball 92, 93 up in the top of the zone. Quality miss right there. Yeah, it's down a little bit, but a quality miss, and that's been the strength of his outing today. Again, and I keep saying it, but he's just in and around the strike zone with every pitch.
Tips that one foul. Honeycutt's reached base going back to last year in 41 straight games. He will theoretically have an at-bat in the 9th, but this is on the line here.
Yeah, in the comfort of being able to go after him, 1 out in the inning, you got a 3-run lead. If he's going to hit one, let him hit a solo home run. It's a big deal.
That is just foul. Hit hard and ruled foul by Steve Sanders, the crew chief over there at third.
Again, playing the shift and Dixon Williams on the line, if it's fair at all, he would covered it. But it is just
Hold
foul.
on there, Mike.
Just foul.
Just over that inside corner, possibly. Very close. Love that replay angle as well. So Jake Hunter gets new life. Here's his 1-2. Nice take by Honeycutt, who last year was in the top 5 in the ACC in walks. He walked 49 times, almost a walk per game.
Yeah, and talking with some of their folks before the game during BP, that was kind of their thing to him was, and his willingness to be part of the team game was, look, if they're not going to pitch to you, don't get yourself out. Take the walk. Take the walk and be happy to have the walk. We need base runners. Late in the game is when they look for him to expand his zone a little bit more.
The Salisbury native, 420 on base percentage coming in, but today he's been a strikeout victim. 2 punch-outs so far. Hunter searches for a third. Instead, a good battle brewing.
And that's what you give these quality hitters. Their ability to battle with 2 strikes and kind of wear the pitcher down is obviously a huge strength for any of these guys.
Jake Hunter back at it on 2-2. Honeycutt, the 2nd-generation Tar Heel. His mom and dad, Leanne and Bob, both played for UNC. And here's the next generation of Pirates having a blast in the outfield.
And why not?
Gives you a sense of how much it matters. 6,000 plus on hand. There is no room here at Clark LeClaire. And this place has been rocking since inning 1. Here's the 9th pitch for Jake Hunter. Let's make it 10.
Looks like the Pirates have a lefty. Can't quite see who it is. A little bit blocked out. Warm it up in the pen.
One thing this at-bat has done is sped up that bullpen process.
That's exactly right. And again, we're at the 90 pitch mark, and that's probably getting close to the magic number.
Pitch 10 is fouled away. This is the longest at-bat of the day for any Tar Heel.
And these are the things that you don't see in the scorebook. They go over to that quality of bat category and, wear it out. Jake Hunter, who's been so good today, and the Carolina hitters know that getting into the bullpen is their kind of their mission at this point.
Jake Hunter in a battle with Vance Honeycutt. Ball 4, good battle, and a one-out walk. So Honeycutt's now reached base in 42 straight games. The old Jackie Robinson number.
There you go.
For much different reasons, of course, but
Now back for the Tar Heels, left fielder number 16. Casey
now for
Cook.
Carolina, how do you take advantage of a base runner? That hasn't happened all but twice today.
No, and look, at 4-run game, you're getting into the swing innings. I would expect it would be relatively conservative, especially considering you're at 3, 4, 5 in your lineup. But we'll see how Coach Forbes and the staff decides to kind of navigate these waters. Looks like, again, we may have a little time buying going on as I think it's Eric Ritchie down in the Pirate bullpen.
Yeah, that is Ritchie, who's already pitched in this series. He's pitched twice this week, Tuesday and then earlier this weekend. That was on Friday night.
And I see Coach Godwin making his way out of the dugout heading out, so we will certainly have a pitching change.
We'll take this time out. Round of applause for starter Jake Hunter, who exits here in the 6th. Welcome back to Greenville, where ECU goes to the bullpen the first time today. Eric Ritchie, sophomore out of Pennsylvania. He's a high-level draft prospect in the American Athletic this year. More importantly now, Mike, this is a big inning. Carolina runner on. What is Ritchie tasked to do here in the 6th?
Well, there's a couple things. Number one, obviously, control the running game. Let me start with fill up the zone through strikes, right? But control the running game, confidence in fielding the bunt out, although I think, again, where we're at in the lineup, I don't know that down 4 that is necessarily advantageous. Again, the Tar Heels are thinking, let's just scratch away, let's get 1. We'd like to get 2, cut the thing in half, and get back out there. But Ritchie's deal is hold them here, throw strikes, let your defense play behind you, soft contact, and find a way to get the Pirate bats back to the plate.
Ritchie had 2 big outs in the 8th inning of what that have been Friday's game after the home run given up by Danny Beal. Somebody's 3rd outing of the week kind of has that minor league feel to it as you work, and you sort of get a sense from Cliff Godwin who he trusts in the 2nd week of the season.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of the same folks out of the out of the Pirate pen to this point. Other than in the Rider weekend, there were obviously some appearances made by freshmen that we haven't seen since. But yeah, definitely a lot of trust in Eric Ritchie and Lussford Shinkman and Danny Bill, and I'm sure at some point we'll have a chance to see those other 2 guys.
Gives you a sense of how important just the 7th game of the year is, right? It's not game 65 yet. We're not come regional time, but you can tell these programs both want to lean on some big arms today, which adds to the drama of a game 3 with a series on the line, possible top 10 votes looming for the winner of this game.
Well, let's not forget the all-important bragging rights.
I buried the lead. 2 in-state foes that, 1, respect the heck out of each other, and 2, they want to get a big series win here in the non-conference. So Casey Cook back up. He's reached base twice and wastes no time.
You know, Richie first off with fastball 90 miles an hour, and we've obviously become familiar with Eric over the years, and good breaking ball, and should be an interesting matchup with Cook, who already has a home run on the season.
Cook scoops that one foul. Only one hit for UNC today. That was all the way back in the first inning. Jake Hunter, back-to-back quality starts. And as you see right there, Cook is really good with men on the bases. A Pirate bullpen that, as a staff, has a sub-2 ERA. Only 2 weeks in, but one of the better pitching staffs in the country. This was an area that Carolina was very good in last year when trailing after 5 innings. 8 come from behind wins for Scott Ford's club, part of that regional finalist team a year ago. So the 2-2 is blasted into the air. How about Casey Cook coming to life? And the Tar Heels are back within 2.
Yeah, I mean, 2-2 count. You know, he kind of struggled on the mound, and Cook sits on that pitch down in the zone, and you know, down and in to a left-handed hitter is kind of the natural sweet spot. That ball found its way down there, and Cook deposited it into right field, almost onto the practice football field.
That man is cooking. How about this swing?
Now batting for the Tar Heels, first baseman number 14, Parks Harbor.
All of a sudden, power becoming a factor. Teams with home runs in back-to-back innings. It's a brand new ball game here in Greenville. Harper, one of the home run leaders in the SEC last year. He brings a ton of power. Has yet to hit one out of the park this year, both at Carolina and here.
You know, now it's a matter of can Richie refocus. Again, falling behind 2-0 to a dangerous hitter like Harbor is certainly not what you want to see on the tail end of the home run when you're, again, in the swing part of the game, which will bring pitching coach Austin Knight out to have a little chat. Probably very much to that effect of, hey, man, settle in, we got to have you. This also gives the Pirate pen a chance to get somebody going. Again, looks like they have a right-hander down, kind of hard to see from here. But, yeah, certainly not what Richie desired. Again, it all stems from falling behind in the count, and then you got to pitch your way back in the count, 2-2 runner on first. On the flip side, the Tar Heels got exactly what we had kind of said they wanted. They cut this thing in half and still have plenty of offensive at bats to go. Looks like maybe Chris Kaler, right-handed pitcher from transfer from George Washington, is up in the Pirate pen.
That's a busy bullpen all of a sudden for Cliff Godwin.
Well, and there you see Danny Beal with the shoulder wrap on, so it doesn't look like he'll be available tonight.
2-0 count to Parks Harbor. Nice use of the breaking ball there. And here's where the power of this Tar Heel lineup really changes things. 11th home run for UNC. Right now, Duke leads the country. They hit 10 home runs down at Coastal last week, but a ton of power here in the state. It's 2-2. You see today, Duke put up 20 runs on Northwestern.
Wow.
Earning the series sweep.
They could score them in buckets.
Eric Ritchie out of the Pirate pen gets a strikeout. That's the 7th combined K for ECU.
And that's what Ritchie's got to be able to do, is command that breaking ball in the strike zone with some depth on it. And you'll see it's gotten better and better after the home run. But, I mean, that's the Eric Ritchie that has success and exactly who the Pirates need him to be.
Speaking of power, Coastal Carolina today hit 4 home runs in the first inning against Cincinnati.
Wow.
And they're up 18-2 in the third.
Wow.
Welcome to the Big 12 for the Bearcats. Anthony D'Onofrio fouls one out.
You know, well, this is one of the situations, if D'Onofrio can get on and it brings Osuna to the plate, who we continue to talk about the threat that he is at the dish, you know, you could find yourself in a tie ball game in a hurry. And what the effort here now is for the Tar Heel lineup is to try to keep grinding deeper and deeper to get their guys at the top of the order as many opportunities as you could get them to win the game late in the game.
Eric Ritchie ahead 0-2. Nice fight there from D'Onofrio. who's lined out twice today, one to center, one to left.
It'll be interesting to see if Carolina goes back with Hall, if they go to somebody who's pitching maybe a little more leverage type situation. It looks like they've got a right-hander up too, potentially Matthew Mateus.
That ball rolls foul. Again, Coach Brandon Riley, he's been locked in today.
Tell you what, he's getting his work done.
And then you see Scott Forbes over there with a quick laugh. He's going to keep his coach accountable over there at first. First-year assistant, the undergraduate assistant coach, Brandon Riley. Earned that degree as well. Here's the 0-2. And then D'Onofrio catches his own foul ball. I'll score that at 9 at home.
That'd be good at bat for D'Onofrio. Show a little eye hand in the pick on the ground ball.
Look at this.
Foul ball. Okay, I got that.
Ooh.
I got it. Whoop, 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 whoop. And then the slam with authority, right? The spike of it.
That's a card dealer in Vegas shooting one down the line and perfectly placed against the shift. Could have done that much better for an infield single.
Yeah, nothing to be done there. And again, this brings up the very dangerous Osuna.
I don't know what's tougher, catching your own foul ball or hitting one off the end of the bat against the shift.
Now that new Tar Heels designated hitter number 23, Alberto.
That's a thing of beauty right here.
That is great luck if you're a Tar Heel and terrible luck if you're a Pirate.
Now the shift goes the other way for a dangerous right-handed bat in Alberto Osuna. 3 home runs coming in. And all of a sudden, the pulse of Clark LeClaire Stadium, it has changed quickly in the last 10 minutes.
You took the thought literally right out of my head. You can feel the difference in the stadium right now, and big deal to get this out and for the Pirates, and obviously the Tar Heels would want nothing more than to extend this inning.
Osuna out in front of the breaking ball. Had a hand bone injury last year, not a full factor in the lineup, but comes back ready to rock and roll for Coach Scott Forbes. Even in that injured season, had 11 home runs. But the average took a dip. He went from around 300 down to 220 last year.
Seems to have figured out this year, Evan. 3 home runs already and hitting almost 350.
That's a hard ground ball. That time the shift is perfect. But UNC gets right back in this game. Casey Cook cooking up a 2-run shot, and we got a ball game here in Game 3. Welcome back to Greenville. We got a tight game in this series finale. UNC just scored 2 a moment ago. Here's what's happening in the American Athletic Conference. Keep an eye Wichita State went to a great tournament down in Jacksonville. Heard a nice win over Iowa today, and Charlotte on the verge of taking down a top 25 caliber foe in West Virginia. Conference play for both these schools begins in just a couple of weeks, believe it or not. And now for the real fun. Anytime these two programs meet, there is in-state, there is inbred, and then there's in the city of Greenville themselves. Matthew Mateus, the D.H. Conley product, who will come in and get to face one of his former teammates right away.
Yeah, he's going to have to deal with Jenkins Coward to lead off the inning, but Dixon Williams, his teammate at D.H. Conley, waits on deck.
Second appearance for Mateus of the series. A high leverage arm here for Carolina, because all of a sudden the two-run homer makes this game real interesting. Mateus earned the win on Friday. And here he is in a two-run ball game. Top power threat, Jacob Jenkins Coward, with maybe the deepest pockets in college baseball with that oven mitt in his back pocket. Coward drove in two back in the first. He's 1 for 1 today. Give him a second base hit and the 6th hit of the series for JJC.
I tell you what, he's really seeing it well right now, and again, really good for the Pirate fans to see him rebound after an otherwise tough year last year.
He uses so much of his body in his swing, if that makes sense, Mike.
Yeah, he stays grounded in his lower half and kind of gets that power from the ground, and that's a big talk with hitting right now is kind of that whole philosophy. So yeah, he does a great job with it, and a lot of credit goes to the staff at East Carolina.
So here are the high school teammates at nearby D.H. Conley battling it out. In fact, we've heard the coaching staff for D.H. Conley is here in attendance, which even adds a level to this matchup.
Yeah, interestingly enough, there's been some banter back and forth and guys kind of picking their pony here, and the overwhelming sentiment is that both these guys are very much loved by their high school staff, and if they could both win in this situation, that's the way the staff would have it.
You see Williams looking to bunt. Instead, a slash and a line drive to right. That is caught. Good coverage there by D'Onofrio. An advantage pitcher from D.H. Conley.
But you know what I have to say? That's almost like both of them win. Dixon Williams puts a good swing on the ball, and Mateus is able to record the out. So that should leave the staff happy, and we may see them a little bit later in this matchup in another high leverage situation.
That's just a neat moment regardless. Two kids who grew up right here in Greenville. Nonetheless, in a two-run game, things get real tight as Justin Wilcoxon comes in. Those first 2 runs for Carolina took advantage of 2 defensive mistakes, and now it really shows you how important Luke Stevenson's play is behind the plate.
Yeah, no question. When we knew going into this, it was going to be defense and pitching, right? Throwing strikes and taking advantage of defensive opportunities, and we've seen both of those situations lead to kind of the score we have right now.
The mixed reaction of cheering for a strike and then cheering for your team.
Yeah, that was a little off-speed offering there. I think kind of fooled Wilcox a little bit. It kind of like he might be looking straight fastball there, but they just pulled the string on him, and we'll go to the 1-1 pitch.
Dangerous pickoff over there with Harbor. That was back in the 2nd inning, the wild throw that eventually led to a 3-0 start. It's the 2-run homer, though, for Carolina's Casey Cook that has cut into this lead. This is a tailor-made double play. Great scoop by Wilkerson, and he turns it. For the 9th time this year, the Tar Heels flip 2. This time it's Colby Wilkerson taking care of business. And now UNC swings in a 2-run game after this nice defensive effort. What a fantastic crowd these last 3 days, both Chapel Hill, Fayetteville, and today over 6,000 people. You can't find a seat in this ballpark. It certainly, Mike, gives you a sense of how much this series matters to these two programs.
But you keep alluding to it, and you could not be more correct. 16,000, 17,000 people roughly, opportunity to watch these two powerhouse teams go at it. What a big deal for college baseball. And again, it cannot be overstated. It does just mean more in the state of North Carolina.
East Carolina has had 5,000 plus 25 times in their program's history. Now, 6,000 is a whole different ordeal given the outfield and all the people here. But now Chris Kaler in this game gets things rolling. I mean, just a clarification, that is the largest attendance here at ECU ever, 6,017. It gives you a sense of how much this game means and what it means today.
You know what, historically, if you'll hear 6,017 because that's tickets sold, I'm going to say there's 7,000 people here. I mean, I think people have found a way to crash the gates or get in. It is a packed house and you know, getting cooler later in the afternoon, but it doesn't look like the fans are looking to go anywhere.
A record-setting day here in Greenville. And a good battle at that. Top of the 7th, Chris Kaler comes out of the pen. And that Visit Myrtle Beach sign, just so tempting right now when it's in the 50s and you just want to get some sunshine. But a great baseball atmosphere instead. Second appearance for Kaler of the week. He threw against Campbell Tuesday. And now will face the bottom third of the UNC lineup.
Kaler, one of these fast workers that has to have that pitch right there. He has to have that breaking ball to be successful. Nothing overpowering. He's kind of a right-hander that pitches like a left-hander. 86, 88 on the fastball. Kind of a nibble and bite guys. He absolutely has to have that breaking ball to have the success that the Pirates need him to have.
Jake Hunter went 5 1/3. Then Ritchie gives up the home run. Now it's Chris Kaler out of Cliff Godwin's pen. A bullpen that's been taxed in terms of heavy usage. But starters have carried the load this weekend. 6, 7, and 5 1/3 the last 3 days.
You know, when you say that, we've seen guys out of the pen, but nobody's had extended outings out of the pen. You know, that you might see them for 2/3 of an inning, or we saw Lunsford Sheetman come in to throw one pitch as an appearance.
Has that regional feel to it in terms of bullpen usage.
And that's the Cliff Godwin philosophy. Every game's getting you ready for the postseason.
Postseason atmosphere here in Greenville. And ball 4 starts the inning off for the Tar Heels.
You know, the thing that concerns you with a pitcher like Kaler is that if he doesn't have his best stuff, number one, he works with such a high volume of pitches. In other words, he works very quickly. If you don't have somebody up to back him up in the event he doesn't have his best stuff, you could see a game get away from you in a hurry. As I say that, I look down, and it looks like the Pirates have 2 arms up in the bullpen.
So Jackson Vanderbrake, whose dad was a standout at LMU. You think of the Hank Gathers tenure, but also the Vanderbrake family. Some big names in the college ranks. Doesn't that team feel like it was yesterday?
Oh, man, it's crazy.
This ball is ripped just foul. Jackson, the 3rd brother to play college baseball, and he's had a very good ACC career. 2nd team all-conference last year.
You know, when you watch hitters against a guy like Kaler, it's not only the actual hits or the way it's how are they taking pitches? Are they seeing him better than you're comfortable with? Are they really able to lay off the breaking ball with no duress? Right now, it does look like he's got Vanderbrook a little bit confused. We've seen a couple check swings and counts that he could have been a little more aggressive. So we'll see how this thing shakes out between these two.
Kaler on 1 and 2. Nibbles outside. Not to the agreement of the Pirate faithful in attendance.
No, and that's that 86, 87 mile an hour fastball is just off the plate. And when he's getting that pitch, he's going to be very, very hard to hit. If the umpire's not going to allow that pitch, it might not be the best matchup.
Breaking ball left up. This is dangerous to center. Twirling around there. Johnson finds it for the first out.
I'll tell you what, that was a really good job, and some would question maybe the defensive route, but as you'll see as he takes off, the ball starts on one side of his body. As it tails back, you'll see him make the adjustment right there and then settle to make the catch. The hardest ball to catch in the outfield is a mid-depth line drive that's hit right at you. It's hard to gain perspective in relation to the background.
And he's got 1,000 of his closest friends telling him where the wall is out there at center.
Exactly right.
Standing room only crowd here Clark LeClaire Stadium.
And let's face it, Ev, some of the depth perception of that crowd that's out there may be a little skewed,
depending on what
because
time of day.
they've been enjoying pirate beverages from from about lunchtime on.
Record crowd 6,017 in attendance, and now a rocketed base hit from Colby Wilkerson. So here the Tar Heels bringing the go-ahead runner to the plate in the 7th.
Well, and I think you're seeing their philosophy with Kaler is go up there and hunt the fastball. The 86, 88's not going to overpower these guys. Again, they're not trying to do a whole lot other than, and I keep saying it, live in the middle of the field, right? Live in the heart of the field. This could be it for Kaler. I don't know if they'll make the change here, but the slow walk out, and it looks like we do have somebody maybe entering the game for the Pirates. Maybe word's already been sent down, just no appearance from Cliff Godwin yet.
One of the elite back-end arms, Danny Beal, is warming up for ECU.
Well, that's kind of strange. We saw Danny a little earlier with the wrap on his shoulder. Maybe it was a heat wrap, maybe just kind of trying to keep it loose.
As Shaquille O'Neal says, it's icy to dull the pain and hot to relax it away.
There you go. Maybe that's what we saw.
There's one of the closers for ECU, Danny Beal, who earned the save yesterday.
And here comes Coach Godwin going out to apparently make the change. He makes the call down, and we'll see who we have make their way to the mound.
We'll take that timeout and get you all settled. New arm coming in out of the ECU bullpen here in a tight one when we return. So Ethan Norby, the Cartersville product, comes in out of the East Carolina bullpen. He's a top 10 prospect in the American Athletic Conference. How about this for your second career appearance entering in a tight game? Go ahead, run at the plate. He'll now face the heart of the Carolina order.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time around this ballpark watching his brother, a name that a lot of Pirate fans are super familiar with, and Connor Norby. But yeah, Ethan being brought into an interestingly high leverage situation for a freshman arm.
Ethan's brother Connor was a standout and an all-conference elite player here at East Carolina. He's now in the AAA of the Orioles organization. He was an All-American here at ECU.
Had an incredible year last year, and it seems like just a matter of time before he gets an opportunity to break through. It's kind of a testament that he's not in the big leagues to the strength of what the Orioles have put together.
What a run back to the MLB playoffs here recently. So Gavin Gallagher will pitch hit here for the Tar Heels. Scott Forbes going to his bench. That's the nature of this game. We're cat and mouse. Gallagher, the freshman out of Apex from the Pro 5 Academy. It's right-handed heavy here in the top of Scott Forbes' lineup. That pitch is called inside for a 2-0 count.
You can hear
you hear it loud and clear.
The disdain and the concern of the Pirate fans. Just want to make sure the umpire's being fair.
How about this drive? Gavin Gallagher to left. It's deep and gone. The true freshman puts the Tar Heels in front.
You know, and that shows you how strong that young man is. I don't think he got all that one. Kind of like he got it off the end of the bat, but just enough to muscle it out of the ballpark and flip the scoreboard, and the Tar Heels take a 1-run lead.
What a time for your second career home run.
See, just a fastball, kind of caught a little bit too much plate and doesn't necessarily get it all. Great effort by Nowak, just came up a little bit short.
And Scott Forbes, a huge fan of that big swing.
And that'll bring Coach Galvin back out of the dugout, and looks like may have another change.
Yeah, pitching change in order here for East Carolina. How about the Tar Heels back-to-back innings with home runs, and we'll take the break. This game's changing in a hurry. It's UNC up 1. This game's changed in a hurry. 3 runs for the Tar Heels, and now all-conference closer Danny Beal comes out of the ECU bullpen. What do the Pirates expect here for Beal?
You know, again, another strike thrower that kind of shows you multiple angles. He's had the propensity, as we talked earlier, to throw some kind of weak pop-up, kind of fly ball outs, and you know, that's what they need Danny to do to be successful.
Danny Beal on the preseason Stopper of the Year watch list. That's for the best closer in college baseball.
You know, boy, this is just a tale of 2 teams from the change of Jake Hunter going out of the game to, you know, again, the Tar Heels waited it out, got into the bullpen of the Pirates, and have obviously taken great advantage. But we're also seeing it go the other way right now. We've got, at least the last time we saw the Tar Heels on defense, we had the sophomore Mateus in the game for the Tar Heels, and so both teams kind of managing their bullpens, and we'll see who can outlast the other.
Danny Beal's been excellent in his 3 innings so far this year. He earned the save yesterday. And all of a sudden now, if you're Scott Forbes, you got to love the effort of your offense. Home runs from Casey Cook and the true freshman coming in to pitch it at bat. So it's now 5-4 Tar Heels. After Gallagher steps into that at bat and makes things happen.
And Danny comes in not getting any favors here, facing the ever dangerous Vance Honeycutt, who he probably cringes a little bit based off the success that Honeycutt's had against him this weekend already.
Had the game-winning home run Friday and a big swing there. And you're right, Danny Beal's 3rd appearance of this weekend series. Wanting to follow in the footsteps of Cade Denton of Oral Roberts as the National Stopper of the Year. That'll certainly help.
Jumps out 0-2 now, has a few pitches that he could show Honeycutt to maybe set up the attempted out pitch. Honeycutt's had success against Danny Beal's breaking ball this weekend.
That ball hits Honeycutt, and this inning continues with a hit by pitch.
You know, and only 1 out, and again, doesn't get any easier bringing Casey Cook and Parks Harbor to the plate.
A much different approach offensively here in innings 6 and 7 than what we saw in the first 5.
Yeah, and I think that's a testament to the strength of the pitching of Jake Hunter. You know, hard to find rhythm against a guy that was doing kind of as he willed, and the bullpen is not delivered in the same manner.
Here's Casey Cook. who changed this game just last inning with the home run.
Yeah, I mean, that's the deal with this Tar Heel, offense, and really both sides. But we know that the Hills can score them in buckets, and Casey Cook got it started.
That sun becomes a major factor over there.
Yeah, the last thing you could do now if you're a Pirate is become tentative. You still have to go and play and compete, battle, kind of erase the nerves. Understand you're playing in a one-run game. A double play here would be huge.
Nice breaking ball there for Beal. The power of Carolina. We told you coming in, nearly 10 runs a game offensively. It's come at the right time.
And in this shift, I would be interested to see. Cook's a good runner. It would be tough potentially to turn the double play on the left-handed hitting Cook, who, again, he's a step closer and again, a good runner. Honeycutt, no breakout there himself, can really run. So could be a big part of this with the defensive strategy with Barini playing right behind the bag, even on the second base side.
Now Beal's 1-2. Veers outside. And this has been commonplace in a Cliff Godwin bullpen to have a side armor. Different look.
There goes Honeycutt.
Casey Cook able to fight it off. Remember, it was Honeycutt's walk that forced Jake Hunter out of the game. And the next thing you know, Cook makes it 4-2.
Yep, you're right. Tar Heels have done a good job of late hitting with 2 strikes. Had Honeycutt leaning again, able to get back.
The battle continues here on 2-2. This is not like the pro game. There are different elements to the pickoff.
Yeah, now it's a commitment to the plate, and he's, again, wanting to keep him around there as much as he can. At some point, you got to deliver the pitch.
Third time's the charm. Honeycutt and the Tar Heels have been aggressive this year. Vance is 3 of 4. He had 15 steals last season. That one's not even close. It's a full count.
Yeah, you don't expect nerves from a senior, but this is a unusual circumstance, although he's been in leverage situations throughout his career. But they know how big this game is, and sometimes the effort to be perfect causes you to be totally imperfect.
In this series finale, Carolina has jumped in front. Now the payoff pitch. Good fight. It was the late inning heroics Friday that earned the Tar Heels the Game 1 win. ECU's bats really took over yesterday, and early on it was all Pirates until just last inning. Changing things in a hurry with a 2-run shot for this man right here, Casey Cook.
And you kind of had to wonder coming into today's game how much of that would carry over, and would you see the Tar Heels pick right back up where they were, and Jake Hunter made sure that didn't happen.
Another slow roller. Good scoop there, the only out to first. So it does move Honeycutt in a scoring position.
Now batting Tar Heels, first baseman number 14, Parks Harbor.
How about the confidence of Cliff Godwin to go back to Danny Beal for the 3rd straight game?
Yeah. I mean, he made the comment and commitment early on in the preseason that it would be a lot of luck for Sheetman and Danny Beal out of the pen, and he has been true to his word.
Beal threw 31 times last year. Here's his 3rd appearance, facing Parker Harbor. Harbor there a bit late.
Pretty good opener, off speed, kind of that frisbee arm slot, and
the folks at Pigeon Ninja love that stuff.
Yeah, just avoided the bat, right?
Harbor, one of the top 10 transfer additions in the ACC this year, coming by way of Georgia. And he rocketed a base hit back in the first. Good play by Danny Beal. And he gets out of the threat. Not before Carolina changes this game in a hurry. It's the true freshman Gavin Gallagher. This big swing puts the Tar Heels up 1. And now it's time to stretch here in a dynamic matchup.
No errors, 1 man left on base.
Low-scoring ball game here in Greenville, but the Carolina Bats have come to play the last 2 innings. What must East Carolina do here to manufacture a run, Mike?
Man, get ahead, stay ahead. You know, control the counts, have really tough ABs. I know that's all that the staff wants to see is tough ABs and a lot of fight.
Luke Nowak leads things off. And a good start out of this Carolina pen for Mateus, the Greenville native. Nowak walked and flew out to right so far. Taken all the way.
Tell you, that's a breaking ball we hadn't seen called strike a much today, but umpire liked that one, and away we go.
An ECU team that's been in 3 one-run games this week. Losses at Campbell and Carolina. Now looking to return the favor here at home in Game 3.
The strength of Nowak's game last year was that kind of slap the other way, kind of to the left center gap. We've seen him pull a few more balls this season.
He's late on the fastball, though, and a good start for Matt Mateus.
Yeah, Mateus blew that 91 right by him.
Got some late cut action to it.
Yeah, he's got great arm side action, always has. And you got to remember, this kid Mateus was a super early commit to Carolina, and people in the community watched him grow up, and he's kind of an interesting kid from the standpoint he's always thrown really hard and kind of seems like he's peaked at times, but has developed maybe more of a pitching acumen as he's matured and kind of bought into what they're doing with him at Carolina.
Matt Poston was the closer last year, and that's kind of been the question. Get some big outs here for UNC. From a storybook standpoint, maybe none better than Scott Forbes leaning on the homegrown kid here to get critical outs.
Exactly right. I agree.
Cam Clonch, this is the bottom third of the ECU lineup in a hitter's count. Great pitch.
That's a really good 2-0 breaking ball.
Matt Mateus from nearby D.H. Conley High School. His Tar Heels, 3 runs in the top half, have taken the lead for the first time all day. Very close.
You know, what you see there is Mateus saying, look, if you're going to give me that spot, I'm going to try to live around it and see exactly how much you'll give me. Moves this to an offensive count for Clonch, and nobody's been better off the bench for the Pirates. I know he's been DHing, but nobody better than this guy late in games.
Ball 4, and the tying runs at first base. It was the walks that did the Tar Heels in back in the first 2 innings.
You know, you fully expect with the bottom of the order coming up here in Joey Marini that you could expect, I think, Coach Godwin to put something on, maybe try to get that runner into score position. Looks like he's going to make a change and try to get a little better base running or a little faster guy out there for Clonch.
That's Nathan Chrisman, the sophomore out of China Grove, North Carolina. And if there's any program that can manufacture small ball, East Carolina might be among the best here in this state specifically.
No, it's become a trademark of what Cliff does. It's kind of gives you a little West Coast baseball feel with how he goes about it. But I fully expect to see something pretty early in this at bat.
That ball skips in. What a nice stop for Stevenson.
That's a great stop.
If that ball gets away, the speed of Chrisman's easily at second. And now Clark LeClaire Stadium has come to life. Homegrown Matt Mateus in a jam late on the pickoff.
You know, the deal there is they just throw the pick, see if he shows bunt, but, give you a little bit of chance to. It's kind of like in football. You go out, line up, call timeout, see what they did, and make your plan off of it.
Another attempt.
And that one with a little more intent.
Chrisman and the Pirates 13 of 14 running the bases this year. This time to the plate, and right down the middle. ECU last scored on a solo homer for Carter Cunningham, who's coming up soon. The top of the order is up next. Now the 1-1. The hitters count here for ECU.
They're just off. I mean, it's kind of nibble and bite, and it's that kind of honey hole that he's going back to when he needs to pitch is that one that's just inside the right-hand batter's box.
Clark LeClaire Stadium coming to life here in the 7th. Runner takes off. It's a hit-and-run base hit. Chrisman with speed to third and men on the corners.
We thought there was a good chance we would see it, and I didn't know if it was going to be a drag and exactly what Coach Godwin would have in mind, but we see the very, very well executed hit and run and puts runners on the corners and opens up several different offensive strategy and opportunities that they can run here. So big point in the game. Nobody warming in the Hills bullpen, so it looks like it's going to be Mateus's game at least for now.
Greenville native Matt Mateus. And first a quick chat with Cliff Godwin and his leadoff man, Riley Johnson.
Yeah, this is just a chat to say, hey, man, look, these guys, and what people don't recognize, these guys work mental drills all the time about keeping their heart rate down, about not letting the moment be too big for them. And I think that's what you're seeing right here is Coach Godwin just making the effort to say, hey, man, have fun with this. This is a great opportunity for you. There's no pressure here. Just go play baseball. This is what it's all about. This is what you dream about in the backyard playing wiffle ball, right? This is what makes it so cool.
Listen to this building. Record crowd, 6,017 here in Greenville. And Riley Johnson steps in. A walk and a hit-and-run single have brought this place to life. Mateus misses, and it's a 2-0 count. jungle is rocking here in Greenville. Now a 2-0. Misses again. And the homegrown Matt Mateus is in a pickle. Clark LeClaire Stadium ready to erupt on this 3-0. Good pitch.
Moment not too big for Mateus there. That's pretty impressive.
3 runs in the 7th, vaulted the Tar Heels back in front. Now it's the Pirates threatening. Keeping an eye on the runner, and Joey Barini.
Again, just an effort to keep him close over there, trying to keep that double play in order.
Now the 3-1. Runners moving. This ball is down for a base hit. We are tied in the 7th.
I tell you what, they're not afraid to do it at any time, are they? Just again, not trying to do more than he's capable of. Caught the shortstop in a bad defensive position. Covered the bag on the steal. Allows the ball to dump right over his head. Run scores. Runner still first and third, 1 out.
A little small ball here from Cliff Godwin's Pirate team.
And you know nothing's off the table. We've seen Cliff do everything from squeeze in moments that you just never would expect it. You just never know with a Cliff Godwin-led offense. Scott Fulham's going out to have a talk with his young right-hander.
This inning all started with a 1-out walk. The Tar Heels are heading to the bullpen. And in a top 15 matchup, it is seesaw back and forth. We'll take the timeout for a pitching change. This game is far from over. Don't go anywhere here on ESPN Plus. Welcome back to Greenville. Former weekend starter Connor Bouvert has moved out to the bullpen this year. This will be Connor's 2nd appearance of the series. He was critical in Game 2 yesterday. What a spot, 2 on, 1 out in a tie game.
Yeah, first and third, again, 1 out, and Connor probably needs to be planning on being fairly agile here. It would not surprise me to see some type of action. We've seen back-to-back hit and run. Safety might be in order here, a little safety squeeze. Again, you got your hottest guy at the plate, but that run out there is a really big deal, and this is a big part of the Pirate offense.
Bouvert started 14 games last year. He's moved to the pen exclusively here in 24. And in the lone ranked matchup of the day, top 15 clubs, it's Carolina getting out in front in the 7th, and a little hit and run back and forth, getting the Pirates right back in it. Carter Cunningham, his last time up, changed this game.
Yeah, one big swing, 2 strikes, stayed on a breaking ball, no doubter, drives it out of the ballpark, and again, we've seen momentum go back and forth in these mid to late innings.
It was Carter's second home run of the season. And all of a sudden here in the 7th, this is make or break.
They may allow him a swing. They may allow him a swing, a free swing, when he gets into the count. Now, obviously, it folds over to a 1-0 count, a hitter's count a little more. This is also more likely to be a strike, and if Cliff is going to do something small ball wise, it might be a good time to do it.
Now the 1-0. Cunningham free swinging. 7 hits this weekend for Carter Cunningham.
I know folks at home that are listening are thinking, why would you bunt with a guy that just hit a home run and is hitting 500? You just got to know Cliff Godwin and how the Pirates play.
Now the 1-1. Another free swing, and quickly 1-2. Back-to-back hit-and-run singles have tied this game, and no player swinging the bat better any team right now than Carter Cunningham.
Well, and how about the job Bovair does? He comes in, falls behind, then catches up and gets the count in his favor, and it opens up what he can do.
Here's the 1-2. Runners moving on the pitch, so no chance at the double play, and the Pirates take the lead.
Pro at bat again, 2-strike hitting, infield's back, take what they're giving you. You got the runners, straight steal a second, and Pirates find a way to manufacture a run. And you got to look at these last 3 balls that have produced runs, none of which have been blistered, right? You had 2 kind of C&I dogs, and then you have the rollover ground ball that leads to another run scored. So kind of tough luck here for the Tar Heel pitching staff, but great execution by the Pirates.
Cliff Godwin begging this crowd to get engaged here for Jacob Starling. And he attacks the first pitch off of EvanBudrovich. Here comes another East Carolina run. And Johnson's in there.
And again, would you expect anything else from Jacob Starling? He's done it his entire career. Barrel contact in a clutch moment. Of the runs we've seen scored, that's the only ball that's been hit with any authority.
3 runs this inning for ECU, and none have been hit farther than 100 feet. Now the hottest hitter in this Pirate lineup, Jacob Jenkins Cowart, who already has 6 hits in the series, with some attention over there at first.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. It wouldn't surprise me to see them try to get Starling in the scoring position for the hot JC.
Jenkins Cowart aggressive on strike 1. Jacob Jenkins Cowart's had multiple home runs against ACC opponents in this ballpark, including last year against NC State. Lived up to the moment here in year 3.
His success comes when he's living in that left center gap, and that's got to be his thought now. He gets off his first swing. Okay, that's your effort to pull the ball out of the park. His thought has got to be into that left center gap, staying inside the baseball, taking the arm side run of the right-hander, depositing it in the left center field.
Take strike 2.
Look, Bovair has answered the call. He's given up the one ball that was hit hard, and play could possibly have been made. It would have been a great play, but Bovair's answered the bell, no question.
That was a good pick.
Yeah, that was close.
And Starling just gets back.
And again, I think the anticipation is, okay, if you run him here, he gets thrown out, you lead the inning off with Jenkins Cowart next time with a fresh count.
East Carolina 2 hit-and-run singles to fuel this inning. Bovair's 0-2. He's drilled out of play.
And that's a healthy sign from your hitter, right? You want to, with these 2-strike situations, seeing that ball deep, letting it travel, trying to kind of sit and react, and a little tardy on that fastball offering, but gets it out of there and gets another pitch. Coach Godwin again trying to urge on the fans to get behind the Pirates.
3 runs this inning for ECU. Another 0-2. Hit hard to second. Nice stab there by Madera. East Carolina gets the bats rolling with 3 here in the 7th.
Yeah, you know what? Again, just well-placed Pirate baseball, right? We see hit and run and balls just dumped and guys doing the jobs that they're asked to do. We see a ball smoked at the air, and that's just how they put innings together.
So it's East Carolina up 2 as we head to the 8th.
We call it drive. The unrelenting desire to become the person you were born to be. Ignited by a moment. The realization that a future you could only dream of is within reach. At East Carolina University, you won't just imagine a path. You'll forge one through hard work and the success that comes without surrender. The journey that leads to your future. And this is where it begins.
The lone ranked matchup of the weekend, number 11 ECU battling number 15 UNC. And all of a sudden, this back and forth 7th inning not only tells you something about early season rankings, but who can make a statement in the national poll.
Yeah, man, and look, you know, the Tar Heels issued the challenge there in the 3rd, and the Pirates answered in the 7th, and that's what high-quality baseball teams do at every level.
Everyone chasing number 1 Wake Forest right now, but this would be an impressive series win for either team. It was UNC Friday by 1, ECU by 3 yesterday. And a big swing on the changeup for Anthony D'Onofrio.
Yeah, you know what, Danny Bill leaving the mound after last inning showed some emotion that you don't typically see out of Danny Bill. So we'll see how he handles it here as he, you know, kind of settles into the 8th.
Beal had 3 saves last year. You imagine Cliff Godwin with a pretty long leash, despite throwing in 3 straight games.
Yeah, it looks like the Pirates have a couple guys down playing toss, but nothing real serious.
Nice start to the inning. Base hit for D'Onofrio.
And that may be just enough to speed those arms up.
There's DiLorenzo and Groller warming up. Great look from our crew. Enjoying the jungle out there in left field. Here comes the huge power threat in the Carolina order. Alberto Ozuna. And this place goes dead quiet for a hitter with nearly 35 career homers in his Carolina tenure.
Yeah, I don't think Ozuna's much of a threat to bunt, nor do the Pirates, if you look at Dixon Williams' camp back in left field.
Danny Beal falling behind 2-0, and you're sitting dead red here if you're Ozuna.
Oh, 100%. And Danny's being fairly careful with him. You know, nothing even really around the plate at this point, knowing that if he gets through them, he's got 7, 8, 9, which is, you know, where you want to segment this lineup. If you could get through here with no harm, face 7, 8, 9, and go into the 9th, only having to face the top ones.
That time Ozuna takes all the way. He's yet to reach base today, but has those 3 hits in the series.
You know, that's a dangerous hitter, one that's 0 for on the day that typically produces.
The slider gets him swinging for strike 2.
Yeah, kind of wave at the breaking ball there. I mean, good breaking ball by Bill, and maybe Ozuna a little bit surprised on that one.
Danny Beal, a midseason candidate for National Stopper of the Year. Working here, 2-2. Gets a base hit. Ozuna goes the other way. Little first to third with D'Onofrio, and here are the Tar Heels threatening.
Yeah, Ozuna beats the shift, right? Everybody on the shortstop side of second base, and Ozuna just takes the little hanging offering and flips it into center field, the right side of the bag.
Both teams have fired counter punches all day long, Mike.
Yeah. I mean, it's challenge issued and challenge answered, and now looks like that'll bring Cliff Godwin out, and he will most likely make another call to the pen. He has not done it yet.
So Carter French coming in to pitch run. He's the tying run, and now the call has been made. We'll take the timeout. New pitcher in for ECU when we come back. East Carolina with Aaron Grawler out of the bullpen. The senior enters in a real tight spot. Couple runners on for the Tar Heels, first and third. And this is not one of Cliff Godwin's huge high leverage arms, but the first-year senior comes in a tight spot, Mike.
Yeah, transfer from Seton Hall, and a guy that's got some innings on the mound in his career. And again, you know, we keep kind of throwing around high leverage. I think at this point in the year, they're trying to figure out who goes in these roles, and this is an opportunity for Aaron to not only come out and have success in this game, but to get his spot, for future opportunity down the road. So, again, Grawler comes in, grad transfer from Seton Hall. This is he's no stranger to the mound, but probably this is a little different situation than he's seen before.
25 innings last year for Grawler up in the Big East, and now he'll face the bottom third of the Carolina order. What a clutch at-bat, though, by Alberto Ozuna. He just got subbed out for a pitch runner, Carter French, but to work that opposite field single.
Yeah, just a matter, again, of taking what you're given and knowing that they're playing the shift is helpful. Now, I will say, even if they were playing standard defense, if they were playing where the middle infielders would standardly have been, I don't think they'd get to that ball. There would have had to have been some type of shift on. But, again, two-strike hitting, take what you're given. Don't try to do too much. And I keep saying it, and I know it sounds awfully redundant, but live it in the middle of the field.
Good battle brewing here in the 8th inning. Winner of this game takes the series and gets that nationally ranked series win, which come Selection Monday in May could really play a factor for hosting and seeding and all that stuff, you name it. Here's Luke Stevenson. Good stop by Wilcoxon behind the plate. And ever since Jake Hunter exited the game in the 6th, the Tar Heels have 6 hits. They've scored 5 runs, and the offense has come to life. Now a 2-0 count.
Again, we're seeing a kind of a soft throwing, nibble and bite left, the 82 on that last offering. Puts him in a 2-0 count.
That time he gets a strike.
Yep. Coach Ford, still one of the few guys down flashing signs, right? It's not just to go straight to the card kind of look.
Growler misses the edge. This is his first appearance in a Pirate uniform.
You know, you can't help but to wonder kind of what his pickoff move to first base looks like. I have a feeling we may see it before too long.
There's Carter French, who checked in for Ozuna. And he's moving. The 3-1's a strike, but the throw is late. So ECU gives up the steal right there, second and third.
Tar Heels runners in scoring position with no outs.
That was a really good jump from French. Here's the payoff. Got him swinging. Good pitch in his first Pirate debut, Aaron Growler.
Yeah. Falls behind, finds a way to get back in it. Again, that nibble and bite. Looked a little too good to lay off for Stevenson.
Thoughts on walking the bases loaded here if you're ECU?
Well, the man that's going to make that call is coming out, and I would imagine this is going to be another change to a right-hander, like they had a lefty and righty warming.
We'll take the timeout for the pitching change. Carolina threatening with 2 on. University of Chicago transfer, Drew Bryant comes in. A lot of new faces here out of this East Carolina bullpen. He is originally a Sanford native, about an hour and a half here from Greenville. And now Bryant makes his second ever appearance. It's certainly interesting the amount of new arms both clubs have had to use today. And here's Drew Bryant in the tight spot.
Yeah, you know, it's early season college baseball, right? You just never know. And obviously, historically, Cliff and the Pirate pitching staff, he's not been afraid to go to anybody at any time. So I don't think this is anything unusual for him. I think what we're seeing is Sunday early season college baseball, just kind of it is what it is. And you kind of had to think we were going to see a bunch of runs today and probably some of this because it has been a long, very competitive weekend.
Drew Bryant was a D3 All-American at University of Chicago, and it amps up a little different level of competition here with all ACC standout Jackson Vanderbrake and the bottom half of this Tar Heel lineup.
Yeah, and as you can see as Brian's throwing his warm-up pitches, he's kind of the short armor right-hander, kind of right by the ear, 87, 88, 89, and throws a little cutter. And, you know, a guy, again, that needs to be fine with his stuff. He doesn't have overpowering stuff, but a senior should, you know, have a little feel for what he's doing out there, some savvy, and has got the Tar Heels on second and third with 1.
We've had 12 pitchers in this matchup. Gives you a sense of how much this game 3 means. So Vanderbrake will work ahead in the count. The Tar Heels have not been as small ball exclusive as the Pirates last inning. But could that play a factor? It's been the home run. Cook and Gallagher have kickstarted the Tar Heels.
Well, I can tell you what the Pirates desperately want to do is get these next 2 outs so they don't flip the order, get back to the top with Madera, Honeycutt, and Cook looming. So, you know, the less of those guys that you have to see, obviously your probabilities of winning the game go up. So this hitter and the next hitter are critical.
And the break works to a 3-0 count. Jackson is 0 for 3 today. And then Wilkerson behind him.
You know, what you may be seeing here is what you alluded to earlier. Do you put him on? And this may be an effort to say, hey, we're not going to give him anything to hit, but if he wants to get himself out like swinging 3-0 there, maybe you allow him to do so. But
first look at the cutter from Drew Bryan, facing a team captain, multi-year starter Jackson Vanderbrake for the Tar Heels. Now the 3-1. There you go, 5-pitch walk, and the bases are loaded.
Sets up the double play, brings it in order all the way around.
Adds drama to a game that doesn't need much else to amp it up.
I tell you, man, it doesn't. And it's playing with fire.
And you see Jackson there talking to his dugout after the last pitch he saw. Giving some tidbits. Second career appearance for Mr. Baker. Drew Bryan there missing high.
That big loopy breaking ball. I'm sure that's not. You don't want him to throw that one again.
Wilkerson singled in the 7th. And he swings right through that one.
You know, that's the beauty of the mix, right? He's been low 80s, kind of, again, nibble. Then he runs a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, which feels like it's 100 behind what the hitters have seen.
That hits Colby Wilkerson. It's a 1-run game.
Yep. You know, these are the small margin for error situations that we've talked about so much through this game, and that's another one that's kind of goes in the book as a free pass, free run scored, and you see it just rides up and in on him, and no lean by Wilkerson, nothing, just elbow guard, willingness to take that pitch off the guard.
And here's Gavin Gallagher, who just crushed a 3-run homer last inning. He's taken all the way.
And you can see the offside run that pitch has on it. I mean, the stuff is there. It's just a matter of locating it and again, making your pitches in this situation.
There's the 0-1. And just last inning, Gallagher really changed things.
Yeah, I mean, puts a charge in that one, and it's just enough to get out of the ballpark and kind of got the Tar Heels really rolling in that inning.
What do they do here on a 1-1? Remember, a hit by pitch makes it a 1-run game. North Carolina with a top 10 impact freshman class, and here comes the pitching coach, Austin Knight.
And I'm not sure, he comes out and it's one of those deals where you look up and, again, this young man has it. He's logged innings, he's been on mounds, he's played baseball his whole life. This is a different field, different situation, and this is, one of those calm down, hey man, kind of repeat of the conversation of where we are situationally in the ball game. But he's got to command his pitches here, and what he's done is put himself in a position where he almost has to throw a strike that's a little meatier than he would have otherwise, liked to, because obviously if he issues a base on balls, the result's the same.
Austin Knight, the pitching coach with Ole Miss ties, connected to Cliff Godwin. Now in year 5, trying to navigate this pitching staff in a tight one. As the 2-1 has popped up, it's got some carry on it. How about Gallagher to the warning track, and Jenkins Cowart there, as this game is now tied on the sac fly.
Yeah, that one that had a lot of carry to right, kind of had JC in full retreat, but corrals it, gets it back in, and that that gets, at least records the out after the but allowing the run to score.
Boy, that ball had some late legs on it, and the folks out there in the jungle were eagerly watching. What a performance here for Gallagher. 4 RBI off the bench.
Yeah, it's a good day.
So now in a tie game once again, it's the All-America candidate, Vance Honeycutt. Work on the slider from the Division III transfer, Drew Bryan.
I think this shows a little confidence that the staff has in Bryan to let him face Honeycutt. Doesn't seem like a great matchup for the Pirates.
His last 3 innings, it's been lead changes aplenty. Tar Heels jumped in front. Pirates regained it. Now Carolina's tied it here in the 8th. Good pitch for strike 2.
Yeah, really good pitch. And again, that's the deal with him. It goes back to all the guys we've talked about that don't have the dominant stuff. They've got to be able to have that nibble and bite ability.
Clark LeClaire Stadium on its feet for the 1-2. Not even close. 7th different pitcher used by the Pirates today. In a back and forth series finale. Now the 2-2. Line fair and a base hit. Vance Honeycutt steps up. His first hit of the day gives the Tar Heels the lead.
Another piece of 2-strike hitting that we've seen both teams execute all day. I know I sound like a broken record, but another guy that just doesn't try to do too much, puts the ball in play hard, and has some good luck and an RBI to show for it. Just goes down with that pitch and kind of golfs it out into left field.
It had been a slow day by Honeycutt standards, but he finds a perfect time to step up.
Yep, and that's what top players do, is they deliver in clutch moments. Now the question becomes, who does the Pirates have left out in the pen, and who do you feel like can hold them right here?
So East Carolina making another pitching change, as we'll take the timeout. Corey Costello becomes the 7th reliever out of the ECU bullpen. Remember, starter Jake Hunter went 5 1/3. Really gives you a sense of how well Carolina's been able to force the hand of the ECU bullpen.
I tell you what, and it's unfortunate for Jake Hunter after the outing he had that he will not figure into today's decision. But great start by him, and the bullpen just hasn't quite been able to hang on. And look, credit goes to the Tar Heel hitters. They've had really tough at bats and executed when they needed to, and that puts us where we are, 8-7 Tar Heels after they trailed the vast majority of the game.
Only the 2nd career outing for the true freshman, who looks more like he's 42 than 18 years old.
Yeah, his jersey number.
That's a grown man beard. Had a good appearance last weekend. And how about the resolve of the Tar Heels, especially going back to the Honeycutt at bat to get right back in front.
But and again, it's the approach with 2 strikes is as good as you'll ever see. No effort to try to do more than you have to do. Put the ball in play, put the pressure on the defense, and sometimes balls just find holes. And the Tar Heels have done a great job of that late in this game.
We've just hit the 3-hour mark of this game, and it's hit an all-time high with drama so far. Lead changes the last 3 innings.
Yeah, and I have all ideas we're not done. This is one of those deals. Again, this is the epitome of the heavyweight fight, right? They're just kind of slugging it out, and it's going to be, who takes advantage of their last out is going to be the ultimate winner of this game.
So Scott Forbes' lineup delivering 3 runs here in the 8th, and Casey Cook, who homered in the 6th, comes back in. Only 3 home runs all of last year for Cook, and he's found a time to heat up.
Coach Gallman going with the matchup. We've seen him kind of hold serve on that here the last few hitters, where they've brought a left-hander in to get a left-hander, and vice versa. And I think this one may be a little more permanent if Costello could get the job done.
Here's a pop-up to left. And a sliding catch. Wow, Nowak saves a couple of runs there. But in this 8th inning, North Carolina's bats come to life. We'll come back after this. This game summary has been back and forth from the very start. Early on, it was the power of Carter Cunningham.
Yeah, you know, we could go. This thing will go back and forth, as you said. It's been a crazy last few innings.
And Carolina with clutch hits. ECU comes right back. Jacob Starling kickstarts a 3-run inning. And right when you think the Pirates have momentum, Carolina comes back with a sac fly and this go-ahead hit from Honeycutt.
It certainly has been a challenge and answer kind of game, and we've seen everything from balls hit out of the park to back-to-back hit and runs to hard ground ball that gets away from a third baseman. All these things leading to runs, and yeah, I mean that again, heavyweight fight. We'll see who's left standing.
Sixth pitcher of the day for Carolina, Matt Poston, out of the bullpen. Pitched well against Wagner last weekend. Carolina dominated that series. Much tighter here in this series finale. 1-run game, and Dixon Williams leads things off. The Greenville Pride hits the first pitch deep to left. This is at the track and enough room for Cook to track that down.
Put a charge in that one, just hung up a little bit, didn't quite catch it flush, and nice play by the left fielder to run back there in front of the local wildlife to corral that ball for out one.
Wildlife's very fitting here in the self-proclaimed jungle.
It is the jungle.
Great atmosphere. Record crowd, 6,017 in attendance.
And I don't think many have left.
In a game with lead changes the last 3 innings. Here's Justin Wilcoxon. And Poston bringing some pop, 93 right there.
Yeah, and you know, he's come in and just commanding the zone. I mean, we've only seen him throw 2 pitches, but both of them get ahead type pitches, and I mean, that's the way you close big ball games out.
Poston was the Tar Heel leader, 31 appearances last year, the Florence Darlington Tech transfer. Part of this revamped bullpen for Scott Forbes. Challenging again.
91 up top of the zone, and we've talked about it earlier. If that ball holds its line and has higher spin rate, it's going to be very difficult to catch up with.
Bottom third of this ECU lineup here in the 8th. And a base hit. Wilcoxon brings the tying run to first.
We're going to get a pitch runner here, looks like, for the catcher, Wilcoxon.
Every time one of these top 15 teams throws a punch, the haymaker is right back ready.
No, it is. It's been impressive both ways, and the resilience of both these clubs to continue to fight, and the mental fortitude, and just the pure competitive nature that both these teams are displaying. It's a lot of fun to watch, and the beauty of college sports.
So Bristol Carter, the pitch runner. We told you about East Carolina's aggressive base running. 2 hit runs really fueled the scoring last inning. Good pitch there into Luke Nowak.
Well, Bristol Carter, another one of these Pirates with great speed, is kind of up and down the Pirate lineup. That they have a lot of guys that can really run. Again, tough double play combination with Bristol out there at first and Nowak at the plate.
All of a sudden, the energy amped up here at Clark LeClaire Stadium. And a 2-1 count.
Great job by Stevenson right there.
He'll call time and look for new baseball.
You know, it's always so funny to me. These guys want a new ball. As a pitcher, don't you want a ball that's got a little scuff on it, right? Maybe it'll do something a little bit different. And I'm not doing anything illegal, but you know.
Bring back the spitball days is what I'm hearing.
They see enough of the pro game, and
so the 2-1 stays up. Both teams in this top 15 matchup continue to fire back and forth. Huge pitch here from Matt Poston. Oh, a pickoff to first and safe.
I'll tell you what, he had him leaning. And interestingly enough, I had a conversation with the coaching staff here, and they think a lot of Bristol, but their fear is being a young guy, and he's had so much success everywhere he's been instinctively that situations could get a little bit big.
Carter back to first, and the throw hits him. It's been a tough day for Parks Harbor over there with some dangerous pickoff throws.
Yeah, Bristol was a little more cautious on that lead, not quite as
and now he's staring into the bright sun.
Not quite as aggressive.
Let's see how aggressive Cliff Godwin wants to be here as time's called. The batter called time. What else can you ask for here? Top 15 matchup, and the 3-1 is high into right. Nowak gives it a drive. It is out of here.
Wow.
The East Carolina Pirates doing it again.
Wow. And I want to say that was like a hit and run or a run and hit. There was something on there. Carter was in motion. Nowak, amazing job. Again.
And watch 6,000 plus go bonkers.
Another slobber knocker, right? Who's going to get up off the mat next?
How about week 2 of the college baseball season and this?
I mean, this is incredible. Are we in a super regional?
That's what it feels like
sure
right
feels
now.
like it. It's incredible.
2 national favorites coming in, back and forth, each scoring in the 7th and the 8th. And now Chaz Myers will pitch hit. They'll replace Cam Clonch in this spot.
The Pacific transfer. Older guy, moment not too big for him. Had some success in the first weekend.
Off the bat of Myers. So now this sets up, if you're an East Carolina standpoint, they burned almost double-figure arms. That 9th inning still might be in question.
No question about it. And you know what, on my baseball bingo card, I did not have home run by Luke Nowak. So I think that's a little bit of surprise for everybody. But nonetheless, the young man gets the job done. And again, I said it earlier and I'll say it again. I don't think we're done, Ev. I think this thing's going to go back and forth. This is one of those that.
What if I told you that was the first career home run for Luke?
I would completely believe it.
That's what's changed this game in the 8th inning. How could you not enjoy college baseball as this ball's popped out of play?
No, this is what it's all about.
Winner of this game takes the series and earns a signature top 25 win.
This is one of those that's the old cliche that, like, neither team deserves to lose this ball game. They both fought so hard. But at the end, somebody's going to come out on top. And I'm telling you, I think we're still in for some excitement.
Matt Poston in a bit of a jam here in the bottom of the 8th. Still fighting for his life as that ball goes into the Pirate dugout. There's a lot of home run props in college baseball, not the ball off the face.
No, that's one you don't want.
Luke Nowak changing this game with a go-ahead 2-run homer. And Myers evens the count.
You know, for Myers, this is climbing towards that quality of bat number where you're seeing X number of pitches and there's, you know, drawing a walk or getting hit by a pitch, and obviously the fans are getting behind him again in a 2-2 count.
Good slider, and Poston with a strikeout.
Yeah, a little fouled it off into the mid there, I think, but good comeback by Poston to regain himself and get back in it.
Shortstop number 8, Jerry.
So Carolina's bullpen delivers a big second out, and with the top of the lineup looming, here's Joey Barini, who's 1 for 3 today. That was Joey's first hit of the series.
Yeah, off to a little bit of a slow start offensively. He's been a solid defender for him, and you know, today are days that help you feel a little bit better about your numbers.
It was his hit and run single that kick-started what at the time was a crazy 7, 3 runs in, and then both teams have since traded a bucket of runs. I'll use one of your terms.
There you go.
A line drive for Barini. That drops in front of Honeycutt. So 10 hits tonight for the Pirates.
You know, again, that's big. 2 outs and brings the top of the order back up, and it's kind of, again, punch and counterpunch, and right now the Pirates kind of have them in a corner and slug it away, and pick up another run or two would be a big deal.
Scott Forbes has entered the ring for a quick meeting and a possible pitching change here.
Got a couple guys down there twirling. Neither one looked overly amped up.
Actually, there's 3 different people warming up in the bullpen right now.
Oh, I lost the guy for the light pole. Okay.
How about that?
Okay.
So Scott Forbes going to leave in Poston.
You know, you got to think this is your guy, though, right? 31 appearances last year. He's had success, and you got to feel like you got to roll with him to a point. And do you start thinking a little bit about extra frames, as you're managing these changes?
Both staffs have not been afraid to exhaust their bullpens here in this series, Game 3, winner take all. Now Riley Johnson takes one high and in for a strike. Last time I've heard people this upset on a Sunday is when they were in the Chick-fil-A drive-thru.
There you go.
Pardon the humor here. With Mike Mullis, I'm EvanBudrovich. What a dynamic Sunday afternoon.
It's been a good one. It's been a great one.
Lone top 15 matchup in college baseball, and it's the Pirates of East Carolina back in front on the Luke Nowak home run. Johnson rolls, nice snap at first, and we go to the 9th inning. The North Carolina Tar Heels down to their final 3 outs as East Carolina jumps back in front. This game summary brought to you by Grady White Boats. You cannot fit in the amount of crazy things that have happened in this graphic, but certainly both teams showing some resolve. 3 runs for each in the 7th, and a big 8th inning has put the Pirates in front.
No, this is an instant classic. This game deserves to be rewatched, and instead of us trying to describe all that we've seen, you just go back and watch it again. It's been incredible.
One programming note, Ryan McChrystal has come in behind the plate defensively. So now for East Carolina, it's a young arm, Corey Costello, the true freshman. He'll face Parks Harbor, who called time and stepped out for a moment to start this inning. Okay, there was a loose ball that came in from the bullpen.
Yeah.
That pitch did count. Let's see what the freshman has in his bag. It's a 2-0 count. No lead has been safe in this game today. Pirates were up 4-0 in the 6th and cruising, but Carolina has come back with multiple rallies.
Yeah, only for the Pirates to answer.
So now it's a 3-0 count. And that's not even close, a 4-pitch walk. So Parks Harbor represents the tying run.
Again, that's just a concern of having the true freshman out there and things that unnerve you as a coach. He took a quick look over to the bullpen and even to the dugout to see what may be going on, get some instruction, looks like, from the dugout.
Caleb Cost, the speedster, comes in off the bench. True freshman out of Atlanta. And now Cliff Godwin's going to make the change.
I would think if Lunsford Shinkman is at all available, would be when you would see him.
Well, he's pitched twice in the series. And Cliff Godwin's going to make the pitching change. Jackson DiLorenzo comes in when we come back. Welcome back to Greenville. Game on the line, and true freshman Jackson DiLorenzo is the 9th reliever out of the ECU bullpen. Remember, the starter, Jake Hunter, pitched into the 6th. Gives you a sense of how wild this game has been. And now DiLorenzo with his 2nd career appearance. Yeah,
DiLorenzo's kind of a right at you, you get what you see right-hander. Is going to challenge guys. Kind of a, reminds me of a little young Bartolo Colon between the body type and then how he just kind of comes right at hitters. So we'll see. It'll be an interesting matchup. And again, another true freshman put in an extremely high leverage situation. We keep using the same terms, but only because they apply.
Jackson DiLorenzo, 3-time conference pitcher of the year up in the New York area at Cortland Manor, New York. This is a much different environment, 6,000 plus, game on the line, and Carolina with the tying run at first base and Cost. Hard to grow up and get ready for moments like this.
No, you dream about them, but I don't know if you want to experience them quite this quickly. Sometimes it's nice to ease into your college career. This is certainly baptism by fire. So we'll see, and we'll just sit back and enjoy the action.
ECU has already used its closer, Danny Beal, on one of its top arms. Wyatt Lunsford Shankman has pitched 3 games this week, including back-to-back days. He might not be available. We'll see. The way this thing goes, everyone's available.
Yeah.
16 combined pitchers. Here's Anthony D'Onofrio. Takes 91.
And that's what you're going to get with the range. I mean, he's going to be fastball, low 90s, got a little 78, 80-mile-an-hour slider, and if you can hit him, you can hit him.
There's the slider.
Yep, he's just going to come right at you.
Carolina scored 3 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th, and need 1 here in the 9th to keep this thing going. Good swing there. The last time the ECU Pirates have won a series in the regular season over Carolina, that was 10 years ago, 2014.
Wow.
That stays up.
Yeah, last year was a little different with the 2 games and then the one that got pushed midweek downstream. So theoretically,
great point.
A series win, but to your point, 3 games in a row, a true 3-game set.
3-2 count. And what a start to this college baseball season. Back-to-back weekends.
Let's see if they put the runner in motion here.
The payoff. Got him swinging. Good heat from the true freshman.
Some emotion right there too, right? Let the big dog eat, Unit. Again, that's just rearing back and coming with the old number 1. If you can hit it, you can hit it.
Is that a major league reference?
I mean,
I'm all about it, Mike. Thank you.
A pinch hitter here.
Elliott Dix, the Longwood transfer. He was all conference in the Big South the last 2 years. We'll check in here for Scott Forbes. Both teams have exhausted their benches. Bottom half of the Tar Heel order. Let's see what true freshman Jackson DiLorenzo has left as he pounds in a strike. Tying run, Caleb Cost over there at first. And that hits Dix and ruled a hit by pitch.
It was over the plate.
So now the tying run's in scoring position.
Yeah. That's the big part of that, and brings up the young catcher, but
that's a hard one.
Yeah, ball just got away from him. I mean, I don't think it was a matter of anything that he necessarily did wrong. It just kind of got away from him, and that's just part of it. Austin Knight going to go out and try to settle him down, and
UNC will make a pitch running change. Patrick Alvarez will come in to run. And now you start to wonder, how many arms does ECU have left in this game?
Well, and I think that the conversation here is, okay, a couple things. If they, situationally, okay, where are we? Let's be aware of the runners and kind of where we're thinking play-wise. I do see another arm tossing down in the Pirate pen, so that obviously figures in. I mean, it's a chess match inside of a boxing match. I mean, it's
there's Charlie Hodges and Jaden Winter. Gives you a sense of how many arms are left. This is the 9th reliever, 10th different arm total for the Pirates.
Coach Forbes calls over the pinch runner from second to just discuss probably line drive rules, know where your outfielders are, just that conversation.
So with Alvarez, the go-ahead run, he's coming to run at first. Here's a huge at-bat for Luke Stevenson. And pounds in a strike.
Also important to note, with McChrystal behind the plate, new catcher, blocking the ball, keeping it out in front of you is a huge deal.
Slow roller to first, and the only play is at the bag. So 1 out to decide this thing. It all comes down to this. Jackson Vanderbrake versus the true freshman, Jackson DiLorenzo. Any thought to walking Vanderbrake?
No, I was just sitting here thinking about it, looking over the dugout, seeing, it's kind of nice to have that force everywhere, but.
Here we go, game on the line, series on the line. Way outside.
Again, I think it's worth noting McChrystal is huge in this deal, obviously keeping everything in front of him.
Colby Wilkerson up next if given the opportunity. And the ball gets away! Tying run, Koss scores! And East Carolina gives up the tying run.
Yeah, and I don't think that's on McChrystal. I think that's just a yank pitch, and be interested to look at the replay on it. I mean, you'd like to see him be a little more agile to get over there and knock that thing down somehow, but fans are screaming for him to tag the plate.
He definitely touched it.
Yeah, he fell over it, I thought.
So now in a tie game, Vanderbrake takes a big hack.
Well, you would have expected anything else, would you?
Runs in 4 straight innings for the Tar Heels. And now the captain and the senior faces a true freshman. Again outside.
DiLorenzo can keep him right here. The Pirates come back with the top of their order. And obviously facing some guys down, kind of in the depths of the Tar Heel pen as well.
The 3-1 is lifted on the infield. There's Jacob Starling. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. Carolina takes advantage of a wild pitch, and this game is all knotted up. Comparing these two offenses, it's like comparing an ace of spades and an ace of clubs. There's been a lot of production, especially late in this game, Mike. And now it comes down to the final inning.
We've seen it all. Again, home runs, back-to-back hit runs, pass ball scoring runs, situational hitting. We've seen some things that were sloppy as an unmade bed that have led to runs. So it's just one of those deals where this is what you expect when you have two teams get together that are quality clubs, and it means so much to each of them.
This is the game decider, game 3 to finish out this series. And now out of the bullpen, both teams have exhausted options. Let's see how Carolina can close this out. Shea Sprague will come in. Never an easy assignment, and he will face 2, 3, 4 in the Pirate order.
Yeah, they're right where they want to be. The Pirates are. That Cunningham and Starling and Jenkins Coward, and let's see if the young Sprague can get it done.
Only the second outing of the year for Sprague, and he'll face red-hot power. Carter Cunningham, Jacob Starling, and Jacob Jenkins Coward. Cunningham's home run in the 5th started this topsy-turvy game. At that point, it was 4-0. It's been bananas since. And now we start the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, I mean, the outing of Jake Hunter early on was so good that it kind of made the game feel ho-hum. And now, since his exit, we've seen it's literally been the tale of 2 games.
That pitch stays outside. This is a huge Elon transfer. 2-time All-CAA, Shea Sprague. He was a starter for the Phoenix. Now he's coming into a huge spot here in Greenville. Cunningham pops it out of play. Winner of this game gets a signature top 25 series win. And with both bullpens pretty tested. Important 1-2 pitch from Sprague to Cunningham. LeClaire Stadium itching for drama here in the 9th. Sprague's 2-2. He's drilled out of play. Cunningham's been almost unstoppable in this series.
Yeah.
7 for 11.
Tough at bats. You know, he finds himself in 2-strike counts, fights himself through it. He's had a home run on 2 strikes. So, yeah, his resolve is immeasurable.
Another 2-2 from Sprague. Got him swinging. Good pitch. This is a well-tested arm. An ace for the Phoenix now coming in for the Tar Heels.
You know, I would wonder if we look back at the Elon, East Carolina previous games, if there's been a matchup with Sprague facing some of these Pirate hitters.
Certainly not of this magnitude as Jacob Starling digs in. And he attacks the first pitch! Starling hits it foul. Hold your horses.
Foul ball. Doesn't quite make it out of the park, off the wall out there. Foul ball.
Clark LeClaire Stadium is ready to have an earthquake. Instead, the battle continues. Keeps it more fair and a base hit. A 1-out single for East Carolina.
If anybody thrives in the big moment, it's Starling. He lives for it.
And now maybe their most clutch hitter, Jacob Jenkins Cowart, comes up. Record crowd, 6,017 here in attendance. Carolina tied it in the top half. And the Pirates look to win the series here on home turf. Sprague's first pitch is fair into the corner. Jacob Starling hustling to third.
He's gonna hold him at third, yeah.
And he stops right
See
there.
where that ball goes.
Clutch double for JJC. This game's had everything tonight, Mike.
Yeah, it's been awesome. It has been truly awesome. You know, you think about what this park has seen in the last couple weeks between the stirring ovation for Parker Bird getting his first collegiate at bat to now a game like this. If this is how it's going to be all year, bud, we're going to have a special season.
Top 15 matchup comes down to this, and it's the homegrown product, Dixon Williams, from right here in Greenville. With arms ready in the Carolina pen.
Be interested to see how the Tar Heels play this.
You think about kids from Pitt County, that's right here locally in Greenville. Got a whole bunch in this moment, and it comes down to Dixon Williams here with the winning run at third base.
You know, and this young man's seen tons of games in this ballpark and always wanted to be a part of the electric environment. It didn't have the year he wanted last year, you know, but was resilient with the summer ball, had a great summer, just tore the cover off the ball, came back with absolute determination to be a Pirate, to be a meaningful Pirate. And here you see him in the biggest moment of his collegiate career to this point. But I have all ideas this won't be the end of the road for either one of these teams, however this shakes out tonight.
Dixon Williams 1 for 11 in the series, and now the home plate umpire comes out, wrapping up this meeting.
And I really think this is more about in the dugout trying to make some decisions as you see the fielders still looking in, trying to figure out, okay, what do we, you know, coach, how do you want to play this, and what's the strategy? And here comes Coach Forbes.
So now Scott Forbes to make the pitching change. In a game that's had 4 lead changes the last 4 innings. Nothing is set in stone. When we come back, game on the line here in the 9th. NJIT transfer Ryan Fisher comes in out of the bullpen. He was excellent in the American East last year and pitched in a Fayetteville region 2 years ago for an upstart NJIT team. Now he comes in for his second appearance as a Tar Heel, and this is it. Game on the line here in the 9th.
Yeah, you know what, we're going to use the same language that we worn out because we won't be able to use it the rest of the year, but we have another guy, not a ton of experience coming into a high leverage situation in such a big game, but I think that just shows where the challenge is going to be for both of these clubs throughout the season is who can solidify themselves in the bullpen, create that depth now that they're all kind of being, you know, metal tested. It's all these cliches kind of stand the test of time because they're true, right? Like iron sharpens iron, and these guys are just going to be better for making these appearances in this environment.
Let's give you a sense of how we got to this point, because UNC's tied it on a wild pitch in the 9th inning, but here in the bottom half, a couple of clutch at-bats from Jacob Starling and Jacob Jenkins-Coward.
Yeah, I mean, both the guys that you expect will do it, right? 2 seniors that are senior to junior, in JC, but 2 guys very committed to the program, very committed to the success of where the entirety of this thing's going. Big pillars of the culture that they preach, selflessness and all the things that this staff expects. And these 2 guys come up and the moment's not too big for them, and they made the most of it.
Series on the line here in Game 3, and it comes down to this. Greenville product Dixon Williams, where no lead's been safe in this game. 6,000 plus, ready to go bonkers here if this go-ahead run comes in. These are moments Cliff Godwin and his program have dreamed of in a top 25 matchup.
You know, interesting going to the right-hander to face the left-hander at Williams here, but right-hander Bristol Carter's on deck, so I still don't think we've seen exactly how Carolina's going to play this thing out. Looks like infield in right now, obviously trying to cut down the winning run at the plate. Yeah, they're going to put him on.
Dixon Williams, an intentional walk.
Yeah, they're going to put him on to face the right-hander. That'll bring the true freshman Bristol Carter to the plate.
How about this on your bingo card? Bristol Carter checks in for his 11th career at-bat, and the game is on the line right here.
You know, we saw him earlier pitch running, and this is the highest touted guy in this recruiting class for East Carolina as far as position players go. So I think they like the situation here. He's a guy that makes a lot of contact.
Game on the line. Carter takes ball one, the freshman from Northwest Guilford High School. He's the #1 draft prospect of all freshmen in the American Athletic. Big pitch for Ryan Fisher out of the pen. Gives up a base hit, and the Pirates take the series over North Carolina.
Wow.
True freshman Bristol Carter secures a top 15 series win. A dynamic battle here in front of a sold-out Clark LeClaire Stadium. Couldn't ask for much better here in week 2 of the season.
No, man, we saw some guys do things that, again, no walk with a home run. Bristol Carter comes in and gets an AB and makes the most of it, takes advantage of the opportunity to give it to him, game winner. Man, how cool to see, and again, how game the Hills were. If this thing goes another frame, we may be here all night.
It's the true freshman, Bristol Carter, with a moment he'll remember for a long time. Top 15 series win, excellent weekend. And not the last we'll hear of either of these programs, Mike.
No, it's incredible game to watch, and if this is what the season holds, man, it's going to be a wild one.
Thanks for joining us here today. What a game 3 to this weekend set. Carolina taking game 1, East Carolina responding with games 2 and 3. And one of those games where no lead was safe, multiple lead changes, both teams score in the 9th. And this time it's the Pirates pulling it out in this top 15 matchup.
There was never an opportunity as a fan to settle in and feel comfortable at any point in any of this 3-game series, right? Like this thing went back and forth. We see a 2-1 game. We see the 7-4 game yesterday. But in reality, it was such a charge by the Tar Heels late that you thought, okay, what might happen? And then we get into today's game. We see a 10-9 final. Again, we saw it all. Home runs. I mean, everything. Home runs, double hit runs, stolen bases, great defensive plays. Just a heck of a weekend, and one that, like I said, what a weekend to build on for both of these clubs.
Epic atmosphere here at Clark LeClaire Stadium in front of a sold-out crowd and a record crowd at that. Lead changes all night. It's the #11 East Carolina Pirates winning the series. For Mike Mullis and our talented crew led by Will Bailey, I'm EvanBudrovich saying good night. Game-winning hit for the Pirates, who walk it off over UNC.